On Vicky Cleary Day, it's Coburg taking on Carlton from Barry Plant Park. Hopefully a good contest in store. Bit of a breeze around as we get underway. Carlton kicking to the right of your stream in the first quarter. And it's Pitnet winning it down. Tackled there is Ramshaw and a gang tackle. It comes out. Little kick come forward from Coburg. That was from Kennedy. They work it towards centre half forward. Lefroy against his old team. Shoots towards goal. It's to the right. Oh, kicked off the ground. How about that for a start? Padavsky puts it through, and Coburg have first blood.
Wow, that's only taken 20 seconds or so, and on the back of the big guy Cooper Keogh, who loves to follow up his work in the middle of the ground. And also, you did mention there was a breeze here today, Damien. It is going to the other end, the right-hand side of screen, so to speak, and that's a bit of a bonus for Coburg to get one against the breeze early.
Quite right. It was a good deep kick from Lefroy. You could see it fold up in the breeze effectively there. And that's the ideal start for Coburg, getting the first goal within the first 30 seconds.
And isn't Mitch Padavsky in form? That's now 12 goals for the year.
Leading goal scorer for Coburg so far this year. They're full of running at the moment. Jed Tilley spears it inside the 50. Slapped away by Padavsky. Hand pass comes towards Lefroy. Slight little fumble. Binns gets the hand pass back. The Blues under siege early. This is Jordan Boyd in the back pocket. Drills it low towards Ramshaw. Takes it on the bounce. The boundary umpire saying it did go out. So it'll be a throw in on the left half forward flank for Coburg. They're full of running and they're winning the clearances early.
They're a fleet of foot team at Coburg. Got to be on your guard, Carlton.
No doubt about that. Received a rude awakening, shall we say. Throw in. Keogh up against Pitnet. Keogh just slightly won it down. It fell short ultimately in the ruck contest. Trudgeon. Keogh is a chance for Brommel. Hard up against the line. Squares it up towards the top of the goal square. Was there holding? No. Ramshaw feeds the hand pass out wide. Chance now for the Blues to clear. Ultimately through Charleston. Looks towards left half back. They've got the numbers. Nelson chips it out wide. Be interesting to see how the Blues transition today, Dan, because we know at this ground it can be easy to work it through the corridor and get it to the other side in pretty swift fashion. Kick inside the 50 for the Blues. Approaching it there is Galvin for Coburg, who's been one of their key defenders this year, and it goes out.
Well, the last game that was here was Coburg versus Collingwood, and that was a goal fest. I think there were around 35, 36 goals scored in that game.
And it's probably worth mentioning that Coburg led at three-quarter time against Collingwood in that game. They just faded out in the last quarter, but they've been competitive in their losses so far this year, and that's the difference between previous seasons. Tackle from Brommel. Comes out. No one can really gain clean possession. Kennedy. The Lions work it out. Tui has been one of their key defenders so far this season in terms of his transition out of defence. He's been very excellent. Hand pass out the back door to Lefroy. That ultimately came from Payman. Lefroy tackled, and that's holding the ball. But he's been zippy around that half-forward line, hasn't he, for Coburg early?
What we see is their ability to transition with hands very quickly from deep in defence, Coburg.
O'Farrell, who was the hero last week, gives it off to Boyd. Kick towards centre wing, bouncing football. Tapped down by Brommel. Still a chance for the Blues to work it forward. Camporelli, that's ultimately of the Bem variety, giving it back. Binns out wide. Here's a chance now for Nelson, squaring it up towards the hot spot. Pitnet couldn't quite take the mark. Hand pass comes out. Chance for Stevens. He's tackled. Moyer couldn't get boot to ball. Had a fresh air shot. Goes in after it again. Keogh against two. He's harried to the turf and will have a ball up. Interesting, Cooper Keogh. His contribution so far this season. We spoke about him being touted as a potential mid-season prospect in the AFL. Moyer trying to streak away from the contest. Pitnet receives a hand pass. Dribble kick towards goal. Which way will it bounce? Which way will it roll? It's through the middle for a goal. How about that? Crafty work from Pitnet, and the Blues have their first. Coburg defenders can't believe it. They reckon it was touched, but a goal has been signalled.
Well, it looked to me that Rhys Galvin had touched that football, and he is protesting, and 4 or 5 Coburg defenders are pleading their case with the goal umpire. But as we know, at this level, we don't have the technology to overrule that. So what I will say is Mark Pitnet and Hudson O'Keefe last week had a real influence on the scoreboard, the two Carlton ruckmen, when they went forward. They kicked 3 goals between them. So that's something that Cooper Keogh is going to have to watch. I'm really looking forward to that contest today. We'll really know where Cooper Keogh sits competing against an experienced AFL ruckman in Mark Pitnet. And an up-and-coming ruckman who can go forward in Hudson O'Keefe.
Speaking of the devil, he's in the ruck here at the centre bounce. Hudson O'Keefe, who can work forward as well. They work in tandem, you'd suspect. He and Pittonet today. One down by Keogh. Gentili has been winning the clearances at will so far this season. Receives the free kick for a high tackle. Was very good against Williamstown a couple of weeks ago. Kick long and deep inside the 50. Spoil at the back. Came there from O'Farrell for the Blues. Kick around the corner. Charleston high. Underneath it, Tui. Camped underneath it. Takes a good mark on the chest.
If there's a man who knows how to find the football, it's Donovan Tui.
He's going to thump it long towards full forward. O'Keefe tried to effect the spoil. Padaski's there. He's tackled immediately. Ramshaw waits for it to come out. Not forthcoming. We've got a ball up.
Donovan Tui, man from Fitzroy, playing against his teammate today, Dane Harvey, who is playing back for Carlton.
He's back at the side today. Charleston heavily met there by Lefroy. We'll have another ball up. So both sides effectively dusting off the cobwebs. Good crowd in attendance today. We saw a massive attendance in the clash between Coburg and Collingwood here. Of course, good representation of Carlton supporters in the northern suburbs of Melbourne turning up today. Ramshaw trying to effect the tackle. Little kick out of the congestion. That was almost a slips catch. If it's going to be paid, it is to Tomasiello, who's marked it just inside 50. Made the transition to Coburg. Tomasiello, he's acquitted himself quite well into this lineup. He's not a massive accumulator, but he can be very crafty.
Just one of many players from Heidelberg, the exceptionally strong Northern Football League team who's playing in the VFL.
Right on the arc, Tomasiello knows the angles well. It's not a bad effort. Has it got the carry? It has.
Wow.
What a kick from Jonathan Tomasiello into the breeze, and Coburg have their second. That was lovely, the way he worked the angle and worked the wind.
Well, it's all set up for an early goal fest, I think, Damien.
I'm not necessarily complaining either, Dan, in that respect. It is a little bit breezy. As we said, there is a breeze probably blowing to the right, as we often see at this ground, but it's not as significant as we've seen in the past, is it?
It's not, no. You can have days out here where it's like the Wizard of Oz and you think you'll see witches and broomsticks through the air, but today it's still a definite breeze to the right-hand side of the screen, but it's not diabolical at all.
Gives every side a chance to the left of screen. We've already seen Coburg kick a couple. Back in the middle, Pittonet back in the ruck for the Blues. Contemptuously takes it out of the ruck, gives it off to Ramshaw. Kick around the corner. O'Farrell towards centre wing. Mark dropped. Mason affecting the spoil there for Coburg. Binns runs onto it, spears it towards Levy at half forward. He was shoved after he kicked the football there, so interesting. It's going to come back to Binns.
Would have been good just for Harry Lemmy's confidence to have taken that kick, even though it was upfield.
He might get it again. He presents short, but Binns is going to go longer towards the hot spot. It's all Coburg, however. I guess in hindsight, not sure that was the correct option as Kennedy takes the mark. Kennedy kicks down the line to Mason, who was good in the second half against Williamstown a couple of weeks ago. He's at left half back. Kick down the line. Padaski. Oh, big fly over the top. What a grab taken there by O'Farrell. Kick is a poor one. He tried to concede ground and work it laterally. It's turned over. Padaski gets it from Valentine. Kicks it towards half forward. Can Coburg take advantage of the transition? Hand pass comes out there from Thompson to Lefroy. Kick around the corner. Finds Padaski in the pocket. He can line up for his second.
A great mark, but poor skill execution by Harry O'Farrell. But what it shows me is that Coburg are awake to what Carlton are trying to do. Last week I watched Carlton, and at every opportunity they tried to switch the ball out of their back line, and Coburg were just ready for that.
Mitch Padaski has been prolific in front of goals so far this season for his second of the quarter. He's kicked 12 for the season from 40 metres out. Tough angle.
Oh, wow.
But he makes the tough angle look oh so easy. 2 goals to Mitch Padaski, and Coburg are alight. 3 straight 18, Carlton 1 straight 6. They're working the angles pretty well, aren't they, in front of goal? That breeze is not deterring them at all, and it seems like there's a bit of a breeze blowing from left to right at that end.
Well, they were so efficient in their last game against Williamstown. I think at one stage they'd kicked like 16-4 or 16-5, and now they've started with 3 straight against the breeze. He's a tough matchup, is Mitch Padaski. I'm just seeing who might have him. I wonder if it's Ethan Phillips.
Well, it's interesting. He was out with injury for a while, Padaski, going back a couple of years ago. He seems to have really embraced that role inside that forward line.
He did have a horror run with injury over the last few years. He had all sorts of ailments, but he's back in the side. Now they just need to get his brother Liam back in.
Tino Sante's tackled in the middle. Pitnet applying it. We've got a secondary ball up. A well-known family in this area, footballing family. He's embracing that roll up forward. He can play in defence as well. He's that ultimate swingman, a bit like Adam Hunter back in the day. Brommel gives it off. Trudgeon, slight fumble. Hand pass comes out there from Ben Camporelli. That's his first touch. Wilson gives a hand pass off. Opportunity now for Nelson as Carlton break clear. Kick towards McMahon, who's been a prolific goal scorer over the last couple of years. Gets the hand pass inboard. Chance now for the Blues through the agency of Evans. Kick towards full forward. Off hands, through for a behind. Trying to get that lunging effort there for Coburg was Sarong. It's a behind anyway. That's the first blemish on the scoreboard today.
Looks like Reece Galvin, number 37 for Coburg. Looks like Popeye, got huge muscles. He's playing on Liam McMahon. That is going to be a real challenge for him today.
Braden Gillard's kick into the middle was a good one to Allison. The former Sandy star kicks it in towards full forward.
They're on here.
Payman leaves it for his teammate in Andrew, who kicks the goal. Too easy. Jack Andrew puts it through. He kicked 4 on debut a couple of weeks ago, and he follows up with a goal today, and they're on fire, the Burgers.
Took all of about 12 seconds from that behind for Carlton to transition it all the way to the other end of the ground. And, well, what I've seen with Coburg over the last few years is they're really fleet of foot, particularly forward of centre. So Carlton backs have just got to be really aware not to let your forward beat you back towards goal. And on that occasion, it was Jack Andrew who was able to get over the back.
Start on debut, didn't he, for Coburg against Williamstown a couple of weeks ago. Took a hanger as well. Yep. He's a very lively type of player from the VFL, of course. So 4 straight to 1-1 in the blink of an eye. Coburg have come out firing on Vicky Cleary Day. Cooper Keogh takes it out of the ruck. He's full of beans at the moment. Off to Dintino Sante. It's bouncing the right way for Coburg at the moment. Allison tries to feed the hand pass out. In comes Camporelli. That's of the Bem variety. He's dispatched. What can the Blues muster in response here? Nelson receives the hand pass. Kick towards Moyer at left half forward. Will he take the mark? Well done, Sarong. Did well in the one-on-one contest. Fights for the hard footy and will get the free kick for in the back.
And talking about matchups, if Liam Sarong is going to be against Ashton Moyer, I'm really liking that for Liam Sarong's development as a footballer. He's predominantly played forward for Coburg, but this year has seen him back.
Donovan Tui chips it short, and this man Hugo Brommel's been prolific in the middle. He and Trudgeon have worked well in tandem. Tui, that's a poor hand pass, and it could be costly here. The Blues work it forward through Poole. Bouncing football is a bit fickle. Out the back. Tui combining there ultimately with Tomasiello. It's a turnover though. Chance now for the Blues. Vickery tries to swing it back around the corner. He did have Moyer at the top of the goal square, but we're all duckses of the class in hindsight. That's a behind.
Talking about Liam Padaski being a difficult matchup at one end of the ground for Coburg. I think Ashton Moyer is also a really tough matchup. He's that 6'1", 6'2" height. He's okay on the ground. He's okay in the air. He does go in and out of games a little bit though, so I just want to see him get his work rate up and be involved for 4 quarters.
Tui buys another 10 metres, spears it towards Gentili. That's strong hands, isn't it? He had O'Keefe bearing down. Gentili been very good in the disposal count this season so far. Been averaging 28 disposals per game. Kick towards centre wing, bodging his way through there. Well done from Kennedy. Gives it off to Brommel. They've got it open 50, beckoning here. Kick towards Valentine. Going back with the flight. Did the hard work but couldn't take the mark. Phillips is on his hammer. Well done Valentine to retrieve it. He's taken to the ground. Umpire waiting and holding the ball. So missed opportunity for Coburg there.
Yes, I didn't love Valentine's effort on that occasion.
He's given away 50 as well because he wouldn't give it back. So bad moment there for Valentine.
But what it goes to show is once again, Coburg forwards getting over the back on their Carlton defenders. Ethan Phillips has just got to watch that. He's a really good intercept mark, but is he able to defend when the ball's coming in?
I think the whole defence has to watch that. Was too much space in that open 50. Lemmy takes it on the bounce. Dribble kick towards Moyer in the pocket. Will it sip for him? It does. He's scragged to the ground by Sarong. And I think we're going to have a throw in that went out of play. That'll be a ball up. It is a throw in just outside the field of play there. So Carlton really need to get their skates on. Still a lot of time to go, of course. They've been outplayed so far by Coburg and thoroughly. O'Keefe wins it down for the Blues. Tackled there was Payman. The umpire calls for a stoppage.
Coburg have improved so much over the last few years. They used to play a bit of a scattergun approach game and they turn the ball over quite often, but now they're really clean and smart. They've added that to their game. Free kick here.
Yeah, it's going to go to Hudson O'Keefe by the looks of it. So out of the ruck contest, this will be a good opportunity for the Blues to try and regain a bit of composure and apply a bit more scoreboard pressure as well. It's going to give it off. Big chance now for Evans. Unloads from 47 and has hooked it to the left. He's lucky to sneak in for a behind. That breeze carried it, didn't it?
It did. And it just goes to show how strong it is. I noticed that was against Dom Payman, who's playing as the second ruckman. So sometimes when you're an inexperienced ruckman, you can give away free kicks. So he just needs to watch that part of his game.
Mason chips it back to Sarong. Rockets it out to Gillard. He's been consistent in that defensive post so far this season. Short chip finds Gentili. He's called to play on. Wasn't the best of passes, but he ultimately had time to recover. I think that was a half volley ball as well. Walker goes short. It's a poor kick, so just lacking that poise and disposal there, the Burgers, as they tried to work it out of defence.
Yeah, left footer is Lockie Walker, so well done for Carlton to corral him on his right, and he kicked it out in the full.
Long kick is deep. Will go out the back. McMahon couldn't take it. Coburg have the numbers. Tui, is he going to try and fake a fumble here? Now, we did see one of those paid as a deliberate rush behind yesterday in the Werribee v Frankston game. It's not going to be paid there. It's a behind conceded. Tui, poor kick out. This could be very costly. McMahon caught one, tries to retrieve the football. Gillard steals it back from him like a pickpocketer in the end. And Coburg breathe a sigh of relief. Tui has a second crack at it. Galvin it was who gave it short, and Mason takes the mark at left half back.
He can have his moments, Donovan Tui. He's a high possession winner across half back for Coburg. Does take most of the kick-ins.
Farrell flew again, trying to take his second screamer of the afternoon. Lefroy sweeps the hand pass to Dintino Sante. Concedes ground to Tui. Been a prolific ball winner already. Chips it short to Payman. Payman's going to transfer play to the outer side. Walker presents, takes the mark, rockets it out to Gillard. So they favour the outer side now, Coburg. Mark taken by Maxie Thompson. Thompson at true centre wing. The crowd has built up significantly just over the last maybe 10 minutes. Thompson from centre wing. Kick towards Allison.
Well done.
Is he infringed? It's going to go the other way by the looks of the umpire. Yep. Is there maybe a hand on the back there or over the shoulder? It's an interesting crunching contest. One of those 2-on-2 type of situations, of course. Oh, this could be very risky. Mark dropped in the end there for the Blues. That was by Monaghan. Now Coburg could try and latch onto it and take advantage. Gentili weaves his way out of trouble. Arches the back, shoots towards goal and hooks it to the right. That could have been a real team lifter. That's Coburg's first blemish of the afternoon. 4-1-25. Carlton 1-3-9.
One thing about Coburg is when the ball hits the ground, they're often the first to the ball, and they're very quick with their hands, very sharp, always first give. I'd love to see Gentili. I think he's only kicked the 5 behinds this year. Just add that to his game, an ability to hit the scoreboard.
That's what separates the good midfielders from the great midfielders, isn't it? The ability to hit the scoreboard on a regular basis. You only need maybe 1 or 2 per game, but it just adds that extra dimension to your game, doesn't
That's
it?
it. If he can end the season with, say, 15 goals, that's a big win for him. But at the moment, he's on 6 behinds.
Boyd will get it back with the 1-2. They're just chipping the ball around here, the Blues. Here's Camporelli. Ben Camporelli kicks it long. Look at that breeze carry the footy towards centre wing. There was an errant leap there. No real chance at it, so Gillard will be the beneficiary. Braden Gillard's been a stalwart for a couple of years now for Coburg. He kicks it laterally. Tui. Just backward as centre wing. Pops it short. Brommel. Another key accumulator this season for the Burgers. Chips it short. Mason on centre wing, called to play on. Sarong kept on running and he takes the mark. Hands it off. Dammer Smith. First touch for him. Sweeps it back. Sarong off a step. He's got a good shoe on him. Kick towards half forward. Valentine. Is he going to be paid the mark? It's going to go back to Dintino Sante, who was held in the contest. Will chip it short. Padaski couldn't quite hold on to it. He was outnumbered 3-1. Phillips with the hand pass. Padaski goes off the ground. Pretty good in that situation against a bevy of numbers. Hand pass came out there from Poole. Nervous moments for the Blues. So Farrell to Binns. Left foot kick is high. Carries significantly. Walker was interfered with, I think, in the contest. He's going to get the free kick. Chip it short. Padaski went over his head. Good pressure there from Allison. Blues try and work it out. Charleston rockets a hand pass out. A good transition here for the Blues. Monahan. They work it out okay. This is Ferranato, one of the inclusions for the Blues today. Kick towards right half forward. Mason will lead in the race here for Coburg. He's pressured there by Vickery. Hands it back. Dammer Smith. There's a 360. Corralled by O'Keefe. Just got the kick away in time. Lefroy the target. Monahan over the top. Couldn't take it. Here's Charleston. Feeds it back. Ben Camporelli again. Using Ferranato. And he's stymied in the approach. Well done there. Tomasiello tried to break away, but a good recovery from Ramshaw. He'll get the free kick.
2 opportunities wasted by Coburg. Dinton, Asante and Walker. Easy little kicks into their 50. They tried to hit up Padaski, but they were just a little bit too quick to pull the trigger for mine.
Here's a chance now for Stevens. Can't break clear. Just lost his footing at the crucial moment. Kick out of the congestion from Trudgeon is going to be intercepted. And Ramshaw again. 65 metres out from goal. He's got Vickery on the half-forward line. Opts to go longer, using the breeze. Long kick by Ramshaw. Where's Lemmy and co? No mark taken. He was in the pack. Trudgeon with the hand pass out. Keogh. Gentili. Feigns the hand pass very well. That was classy. Kick towards centre wing. Over the head of Valentine. He's got Monahan on his hammer. Affects the tackle. And that'll be a ball up. Well done from the Irishman.
You talk about Donovan Tui being a ball winner. He's already had 12 disposals. Some of those probably would be kick-ins, I'd imagine, but still 12 nonetheless.
Keogh wins it down almost contemptuously. Binns hacks it forward for the Blues. Towards half forward, running onto it, Poole. He's forced out and into the fence. We'll have a throw in. What are your thoughts on Jackson Binns? He's a player who's tried to break into that AFL side. He's a key accumulator, but a lot of questions about his efficiency with the ball.
Oh, I watched him last week and I thought he was quite efficient last week. I haven't probably seen enough of him over the years. What I do know, he's not getting as much of the football, so I did question one of the Carlton coaches before the game to challenge him to ask him if his role has changed, and he said, no, not really. So one observation for mine is he is competing against 5 or 6, maybe 7 other players on Carlton's list for a wing role.
That's right. I think he made his debut against Geelong from memory last year as a sub. Kick down the line is going to be marked. Well done there from Ethan Phillips, who's followed his man Valentine down the ground.
That's what Ethan Phillips likes. He likes the high ball coming in. He's more comfortable with that, intercepting.
Not the case for every defender. Walker couldn't take the mark there. Mason tries to paddle it to his advantage. He finds the sanctity of the boundary line. Francis Evans appealing for insufficient intent, but that's not forthcoming. Good crowd in attendance today here at Barry Plant Park. They continue to filter in.
Yeah. Really nice crowd. Coming a little bit late too, missing the first 20 minutes.
Throw in. Keogh palms it down against Pitnet. Hand pass from Evans. Here's an opportunity for the Blues. Darcy Hogg. It bounces towards goal. It's a bit of a rush kick and through for a behind.
So what's that now for Carlton? 1 goal, 5. So quite wasteful with the breeze as well. So a number of scrubber kicks that have gone through for behinds. Probably been inefficient.
They've been lacking poise in their delivery inside 50 as well. Haven't hit too many targets. Tui. The breeze carried that one over and out on the full over Dammer Smith's head. So it'll be Ben Camporelli to take it. Taken in the draft, of course, last year from South Australia.
I really like him as a first-year player. His ability to find the ball as an inside mid. It's a real skill as an 18-year-old.
Oh, what a kick towards the goal face. It's going to be marked on the goal line. Ben Camporelli, he used the breeze to perfection on that occasion. And it's going to be a certain goal here from the Blues. O'Keefe floating in from the side. Will kick a goal from point-blank range. And the Blues have their second. So Hudson O'Keefe doing his job. Some may make the argument that he could have let it go, but I think in that situation you've got to play the percentages. It wasn't carrying by much over the goal line, and he took it and did his job as the tall forward come ruckman.
Yeah, when in doubt, you fly. That's my theory. But once again, another Carlton ruckman kicks a goal. Pitnet and O'Keefe have kicked the 2 goals for Carlton last week. As I said, they kicked the 3 between them. So it's not Lemmy hitting the scoreboard or Frankie Evans. It's the 2 big boys who go down there for a rest.
So 4-1 to 2-5. Much needed goal for the Blues, kicking with the breeze in this first quarter. Been wasteful in front of goal.
And that's what I like about Hudson O'Keefe. He's not just a guy who works well in the middle of the ground. He does have a little bit of versatility about him, and that's what you need out of your ruckman, I think, to be able to go forward and kick a goal.
Keogh and Pitnet, like a pinball machine. Trudgeon gets the hand pass off. Coburg midfielders have been pretty efficient so far today. Walker sweeps it over the top to Keogh. What can the big man do here? Sends a floating kick towards half forward. Phillips got to the front spot, but it's taken away by Payman. Squares it up towards the top of the goal square. It's fisted clear. Chance for Trudgeon. Hand pass was underground. He might get it back, Trudgeon. Evaded the tackle initially. Gets it back to Walker. Chipping short. Just misses the target. Monahan feigns a couple, then loses his footing, and then gives it up. Could be a chance now for the Coburg side through Allison. Kick towards goal. It's not coming back. He got it originally there from Gillard. That's Jordan Gillard. And Allison misses to the right.
Well, I saw Jay Gillard on the team sheet. I wasn't sure if we were at a polling booth or at a VFL game. But anyway, well done to Labor for winning the election.
It was over by 8 o'clock. Boyd, kick to the middle of the ground. Pitnet, charging forward, takes the mark. Gives the hand pass off. Oh, Monahan was a bit overzealous. Went without it. Could be costly. Keogh, Jordan Gillard. The back turn was superb. The give even better. Mason, free kick in the back. It's going to come back to Jordan Gillard.
Had a good first half last week, did Rob Monahan. Doesn't touch the ball that often. Sometimes he has single-figure games, but unfortunately he made a blunder on that occasion.
Braden Gillard rockets it out to Walker. They've got runners on side here, Coburg. Mason from left to right. Misses to the left. So a minor score there.
He had the idea right there, Mason. He knows that it was a left-to-right breeze, but he just sat it too far left.
Really does blow to the right late, doesn't it? It has that little arc late. For Carlton fans out there, a bit like Favola with that kick just before the siren against Adelaide back in 2004. That late little arc at Amy Stadium.
Yep. Dennis Pagan was coaching that game.
Wilson.
He was probably commentating it as well. He could be quite verbal in the box, could Dennis.
Archie Stevens takes the mark. At right half back for the Blues. Hoists it towards Pitnet. Good duel between he and Keogh. He went without it. He gave the shove. Keogh got the hand pass away, and he was dispatched in the back, which is a shame for the Blues because they were away. Keogh, quick hand pass. Tomasiello, poor kick. Gives it up straight to Binns. He just rushed it there. Cops it from his opponent in Nelson too, who's playing against his old side today. Binns. Probing kick inside the 50. Where's Lemmy? He got to the front, flew a little bit too early there, and Kalpakis takes the mark. Goes back. Kennedy. No one on the mark, so he can stream forward. Looks for Padaski. It's not a very good kick. Getting in the road, Ramshaw. Leaves it behind. Charlson will chip it short, and he lowered the eyes pretty well. Evans takes the mark. He can line up from maybe right on the arc here.
And that was a smart kick by Charlson. That's what he's known for, his ability off half-back to hit his targets. Hasn't found a heap of the footy in his games this year.
Played reasonably well going back a couple of weeks ago on Good Friday. Sort of worked into the game against North Melbourne into the second half. Evans, crucial kick on the cusp of quarter time for the Blues from right on the 50 with the breeze. It carries through for a behind. 2-6 now, the Blues. Coburg a 4-3. Well, they live to rue the inaccuracy.
I thought he might have learned his lesson from his last shot, Frankie Evans, but goes to show how strong that breeze is. Pushing it to the right.
Walker to bring it back in. He's got the new look. Kick towards right half back. Was that a blatant shove? Not according to the umpire. Well, it is now. Well, I think they were asking the question, some of the Coburg players, but it was pretty much in the back. Meantime, long kick towards full forward. Boyer flew high, couldn't take the mark. He's tackled. And we'll have a ball up. But Ashton Moyer, he can threaten in that regard, can't he?
He can. He's got a little bit of X factor about him. 30-minute mark here, and Coburg will just be hoping for the siren, I would have thought. Oh,
Free kick is going to go the way of the Blues. And yet again, a ruckman will have a shot for goal to be Mark Pittonet. Well, he's going to be lining up for his second here. Kicked the goal from point-blank range virtually earlier. This is a tough shot in the sense of the angle. The distance won't worry him, but it can be difficult to negotiate with the breeze here.
And Cooper Keogh, the Coburg ruckman, is furious with the umpire on that occasion.
Pittonet for his second. Oh. He's missed. I did say that cross breeze can be a bit fickle. He's kicked it behind.
No, but that really is a really interesting contest for mine. Pittonet really strong, Keogh strong as well, but Pittonet's experience just won out on that occasion. He likes to engage early and then take the ball out of the ruck.
Walker's kick is high. It was almost wide and out on the full. Hand pass comes out for the Blues. That was from Ferranato into the pocket. And seeing it over the line, Archie Stevens and co. Have a throw in. Is there time for one last major? Approaching the 31-minute mark of this first term. Coburg, like lightning, have started off with a blaze of glory. The Blues have pinned them back a bit, just in terms of the territory battle. Keogh wins it down. Pittonet tries to extract it out. Evans getting involved. Tackled by Braden Gillard, and the umpire says holding the ball. There's a gang tackle between Gillard and Kennedy, and the latter will take the free kick. But the Blues, I guess, have stifled Coburg's momentum, and the question will be whether the Lions can maintain that type of intensity they showed in the first 10 minutes. As the siren sounds for quarter time, Coburg 4-3-27, kicking against the breeze in the first term, lead the Blues 2-7-19.
Surprisingly are leading the clearances 11-6, which you might say surprisingly, but Coburg, usually that's their strength with Big Brummel in there and Trudgeon and Gentili.
Well, Coburg will win the clearance here, no question about that. Kick long down towards full forward from Tui. Getting the fist in, O'Farrell did pretty well in that defensive post and forces it out of play. They come to him with the high fives as well. He was a bit of a hero in the forward line last week, but doing his job in defence here. It's interesting having a look at the hit-out battle as well. We spoke about how absorbing that duel would be. It's 5 apiece between Keogh and Pittonet at the moment. Both ruckman did have a bit of a spell for a period in that first term. So throw in. Pittonet wins it down. Lefroy scouting around the pack. Couldn't take it. Monaghan absolutely barreled into the turf. Will get the free kick. Of course, Coburg kicking with the breeze to the right of your stream in the first quarter. Second quarter, it should be said. And I think ultimately it's probably worth a couple of goals, but not overly significant. Farrell short to Wilson. Would you say a couple of goals, Dan? Maybe a bit more?
Well, half an hour before the game I was saying 4, but now I'd peg it back to 2, maybe 2.5.
Wilson, kick into the middle of the ground. Big sport at the back from Hogg. Not often we see that. Gentili towards Donovan Tui. Kick in towards the pocket. Lefroy against 2. Good effort. Was taken to the ground at the end. It was always going to be a difficult task for a small man against 2 bigger defenders. We'll have a ball up.
He's just racking them up, isn't he, Donovan Tui? I'm looking at him now. He's got 5 metres of space sitting behind the ball. He's had 15 already.
Here's a chance for Brummel. Gives it off. Gentili getting involved. Kick across the face of goal from Gentili. It's off hands. Target in the end. Not sure if it was intended, Payman, but he was certainly in the right spot and was just spoiled over the line.
Now I have a bit of a thing for Coburg at inside 50 boundary throw-ins. They are really, really dangerous. Watch this.
Throw in. They've got a lot of crummers around the pack. Pittonet wins it down. Here's Gentili. Evades the traffic.
What did I say, Damien?
He's kicked the goal.
What did I say? They need to be aware, Carlton. These fleet of foot, mosquito fleeters. And that's a real win for Gentili. We were talking about his inability to kick a goal this year, so well done to him. They are just so dangerous. I see it every time I see Coburg play. So many goals kicked from those boundary throw-ins.
It's a lovely kick on the outside of the boot too from Gentili. And the evasion of the traffic certainly did stand out as well. That's one of his great attributes, not only in the centre but also coming into that forward line, being crafty and kicking a goal as he has done there. So Coburg margin out to 14 points in their favour. Can the Blues respond?
Yeah, they actually really like the dirty ball inside 50. The dirty ball is that one where it skids along the ground or it hits the ground. They just go to work, their small forwards.
Gentili full of beans at the moment. He could break through the tackle there, and he had prior opportunities, so that's holding the ball. Ramshaw to be the beneficiary for the Blues. Gives it off. Boyd spears it inside the 50. Delivery wasn't too bad. Walker was going back. Hand pass for Brommel into open space. They can work it out okay here, the Burgers. Allison gives a hand pass off to Tui. Archers are back. Tried to take Boyd on, but was unsuccessful. Holding the ball. Good tackle from Jordan Boyd, who's been in the fray in the last couple of moments.
Yeah, they want the ball in Jordan Boyd's hand. He's the guy who sets it up from deep in defence for Carlton.
Boyd called to play on. He's going to go laterally to Monaghan. He's also been in the fray a few times today. The Irishman made his debut early last year. Get his first goal against North Melbourne on Good Friday last year. He's a powerful kick of the footy. Kick towards O'Keefe. Oh. Big fly. Takes the mark on the chest, gives it off to Binns, 55 metres out, kick towards full forward. Pitnet and Koa there, couldn't take the mark, he was outnumbered. Taken to the ground there was Ferranato, still the ball in dispute. Brommel with the hand pass. Oh, that was a bit of an errant tackle there from Kalpakis, no free kick. O'Keefe gives it off. Kick smothered there off the boot of Vickery, and it goes out.
Carlton fans might consider themselves unlucky, potentially Pitnet being held as the ball coming into 50, and then that tackle not rewarded.
Well, they've got a deep 450 entry. Can they capitalise here, the Blues? They're close enough where the breeze isn't much of a factor. Vickery went without it after the O'Keefe tap. O'Keefe affects the tackle. Umpire says it's okay. We'll have a ball up.
Yeah, there's something to watch there with Hudson O'Keefe. Just took a hanger. When you're his height and doing things like that, it shows me there's something to work with.
And Camporelli's there. Vickery, little kick towards full forward. Gentili, it was a scrubber of a kick. Had the right idea, just couldn't quite execute. It's a disposal all the same. What can the Blues muster here? Here's a chance now for Ben Camporelli. Tried to go off the ground. He's got Binns on his outside. He'll get it back with the 1-2. Binns getting it from Vickery. Binns off a step. Works it towards full forward. Was there a shove out there? O'Keefe has taken the mark. And the umpire says it's okay.
Yeah, probably a 50-50 one. I think when there was a crackdown a few years ago on hands in the back, that would have been paid. Probably not so much now, but I really like the fact that Jackson Binns has had a couple of kicks like that inside 50, and he's just put it to a really dangerous spot.
O'Keefe around the corner. Wicks it through for the Blues. He's got his second, and the two tools doing the job goal-scoring wise for the Blues. They've got their third and they're back in the contest despite kicking against the breeze. That was a good grab from O'Keefe. He's been prominent this quarter.
He has. He's really got his confidence up. I thought before the game that it would be Liam McMahon was the guy who might trouble the Coburg defenders on the scoreboard, but it's those ruckmen again. You look down there now, they've got Lemmy, McMahon, Moyer. Where's O'Keefe gone? Has he come off for a rest?
Yes, he has. Yep.
So they have got some potent guys who can take a catch.
He's got a good leap and form of elevation on him too, Hudson O'Keefe. He's pretty versatile at ground level as well. Back in the middle. So the Blues draw it back to within 8 points. Pitnet wins it down. Camporelli tries to run onto it. It's just beaten for it there by Mason, who kicks it round the corner for Coburg. Inside the 50 it travels. Kick across the goal face towards Binns, who really lifted his work rate this quarter. Chips it short towards the point of the centre square. Vickery with the hand pass to Ramshaw. The Blues still with possession. Well done from Boyd. He feigned the kick and he goes laterally. And he finds Oliver Poole. Goes and pops it over the top to Levy, who marks on centre wing. Haven't seen too much of him so far. He's been crushing the packs. Hasn't had too many opportunities to score a goal though, so he's worked his way up the ground. Kick by Levy towards McMahon and co. McMahon in the one-on-one couldn't take the mark. It's spoiled away. Here's Sarong. Hand pass over the top. Kennedy hard up against the boundary line. Chips it short towards Thompson. Good late spoil there from Boyd. Carves an opportunity for Vickery. Hand pass over the top from Stevens to Binns to Vickery. They work it well by hand. Lemmy 52 metres out. Dintino Sante scrags him down and the turnover is affected. Chance now for Coburg through Tui. Goes laterally. Finds Braden Gillard. They can take a breath and reload here, the Burgers. Sweeping hand passes a poor one towards Allison. Stevens out the back door. Gives it up. Tui to Allison. Back to Tui. He's a driving kick, and he does just that. Finds the option inside the 50. Mark taken there by Andrew.
If I was Luke Power, I'm sure Luke Power is the coach of this team, yes. I would be having a conversation around what to do with Donovan Tui. That's, what is he now, up to about 18 possessions or 17 possessions, and that was a much better kick from him coming inside 50.
Andrew lining up. He kicked 4 goals against Williamstown from 40 metres out. Has sprayed it to the right, minus score. So that cross breeze is proving to be a little bit difficult for Coburg despite having the aid of a breeze. It's a minus score.
Coburg runner today is Kyle Waitman, who is normally a regular in this team but must have an injury.
At least he's contributing. Keogh taps it down. Good effort there from Poole for the Blues. Now, it did come off the boot on the full according to the boundary up. I thought that might have been the case. It was a difficult one because it was one of those ones that was like a cork in the ocean, just bobbed up.
Well, he was caught dead, Paul, on that occasion.
Sarong. Reece Galvin was certainly in the fray there. He kicks it laterally. Gillard into the middle of the ground. Dintino Sante. Got plenty of options. Lefroy going to go short. Allison presents on the 50, and he's going to go for home, I think.
See what they did there, Coburg. They used the whole ground. They're prepared to make the ground big. They like to switch the play from one side to the other and then come back around. And within 4 kicks, Allison's having a shot for goal.
Got family ties to Coburg. Matty Allison, he kicked 3 goals in their big win over Williamstown on Good Friday. He's a potent forward. Can play in defence as well from outside the arc. Not a bad effort. It's going to fade away towards the pocket. Hand pass comes out. Lefroy to Thompson across the face of goal over the head of Padaski, who does well with a second effort. And snap around the corner from Padaski. Doesn't quite make it. Pitnet takes the relieving mark.
No, they had to kill that ball, Carlton defenders.
So Pitnet covering a lot of territory, isn't he? Both forward and defence. Goes long towards Binns. Good little spoil there from Thompson in from the side. Forces it out. It's been a bit of a stalwart over the last couple of years, Maxie Thompson. For Coburg, he's been there through their tough times. They've been pretty competitive in their losses so far this year too, Coburg. That's the difference between now and seasons past, where they've often been belted over the years by big margins. They were competitive against Richmond in round 1. Very competitive in a couple of other games as well. Against Collingwood also. Brommel, quick hands. Long kick by Thomas Yellow towards full forward. Goes over the head of Andrew. Getting back there for the Blues is Lucas Camporelli. Hands it off. Boyd. Good pressure from Valentine. Still Valentine. Charlson to Lucas Camporelli. Just got the kick away in time. Ooh, big spoil at the back. Carlton do have the numbers of defence, but it's in open space. Dintino Sante with the pirouette. He's forced to ground with a big tackle in the back, according to the umpire.
Well, I actually thought Jordan Boyd did quite well there because Dintino Sante in that situation is a jack in the box. He likes to be able to weave his way out and kick a mercurial goal. But, well, he's ended up with the ball regardless.
Just saw Boyd and Lefroy having a bit of a to and fro, former teammates. Lefroy getting under his skin, just reminding him that he's given away the free kick. Dintino Sante, another player who is an opportunist. Seen him kick goals on the run. He can crumb the packs. Directly in front. He should kick this. 25 metres out. Maybe closer to 30. To extend the lead for Coburg. Low trajectory and it's straight. Dintino Sante puts it through. His first on the margin out to 15.
They've always been able to pressure their opponents too, Coburg, and just on that occasion when Camporelli was coming out of defence there, the pressure of the Coburg forwards
affected the kick, didn't it? He really just had to hack it, and that created the turnover. And they were in a situation where Pitnet marked it on the last line. They could have maybe thought it through with a bit more composure.
That's right.
That's what pressure could do on a ball carrier. So 6-4 to 3-7. Coburg maintaining their advantage here. They haven't necessarily pulled away with this breeze, but they've maintained the advantage all the same. Still a long way to go. Approaching 13 minutes in this second term.
They've fought back these Coburg midfielders in this quarter. 5-2 in clearances.
Donovan Tui has 16 touches. Joel Trudgeon with 11 for Coburg. Jordan Boyd really has lifted this quarter for the Blues with 11 touches. He's been getting plenty of the footy. Off the ground, Jed Tilley tries to follow up, falls to ground. Charlson with the hand pass for the Blues, and now Evans hacks it towards centre half forward. Lemmy from behind, fists it down. Moyer, how about that? That was an interesting passage of play from Tui, who went over the head, and Moyer's been pinned. Tino Sante to take the free kick. I was worried about his neck there for a moment, Donovan Tui. It was like an Aaron Fiora type situation from a few years back. 2007, Kalpakis goes laterally. Braden Gillard with the hand pass. Walker is going to concede ground. It's not very clean. McMahon with the tackle on Kalpakis. Can they force the turnover here, the Blues? Kalpakis almost dragged it in. Still the ball in dispute. Walker's tackled. Over the top goes Binns to lock it in. Good pressure there from the Blues, but a bit stodgy there from Coburg.
Unfortunately, I think Lockie Walker has a case of the yips with his kicking at the moment. He's struggling to hit his targets. Been such a good player over such a long period of time as Lockie Walker.
Kalpakis, I think the boundary line's beaten them to it, but it's inside the 450 for the Blues. The expert comments there from Dan Winkle, of course, former Frankston star from back in the 90s.
One or two games perhaps, but some very average ones as well.
It's a salient point you make about having the yips. Every player goes through it. Well, most players go through it at some stage in their career. Tui.
Well, I was watching Ollie Hollands yesterday, the Carlton midfielder in that senior game, and he was really struggling just to hit up the easy ones. So sometimes it can be a mental game.
Well, Tui's been pinned.
Again, O'Keefe.
O'Keefe gives it off. Unloading his Binns towards the goal face. Lemmy's there in the one-on-one. He just can't get into the contest at the moment. He's beaten there by Sarong.
Yeah, I think he struggles with those high balls one-on-one, Lemmy, to outbody his opponent. I think he likes the ball sort of delivered to him.
Oh, plenty of flyers in front, and the man waning out the back, Bradbury style there, was Phillips. Gives it off. Long kick inside the 50. Charlson getting involved again. Galvin picks the ball up for Coburg. Hacks it out of the congestion. Hoists it high towards centre wing. Off hands. Blues have the numbers here. Monahan can track it back. Lost his footing, but did well to parry it off. Here's O'Farrell. Short to Billy Wilson. And a regular in the Carlton VFL side since coming into the squad early last year. Binns getting involved. Hogg takes the mark on centre wing. Darcy Hogg hands it off to Wilson.
That's it.
Archers are back, puts on the afterburners, kick towards Lemmy and Co, but floating in from the side. Once again, we see the tall timber of O'Keefe. He's been instrumental in that forward line for the Blues. He could go back and shoot for another major. 30 out directly in front.
Yeah, he's having a day out, isn't he, the big guy? But what I like about the last minute of play there for Carlton is they got the ball in the hands of Billy Wilson. He is an elite ball user. He has elite speed as well. And what he needs to do is just be able to find more of the footy.
O'Keefe for his third. And he dobs it through the middle.
Hit the post. Did it? No, I think it's a goal.
He's put it through.
Oh, look at all the Coburg players. They are furious again.
Kopakio can't believe it.
All four of them ran towards the goal umpire saying, you know that hit the post, but two Calicos have gone up.
It seemed to have that deviation from our angle.
Yeah.
We couldn't make a definitive call. I was thinking maybe it was the wind because the umpire seemed pretty sure, but the Coburg players seemed sure that it hit the post. Anyway, it's a goal. That's what matters. And the Blues back to within 9 points. O'Keefe has got 3. He's been damaging. And they haven't had to rely on McMahon, who's been one of their prolific goal scorers over the last couple of years. They haven't had to rely on Lemmy either. They have that embarrassment of riches where you can have 3 big tools inside the 450 at the one time. They can interchange into the ruck. Pitnet can go down there as well.
Well, you're right. And in fact, Dane Harvey, who was brought into this team today, who normally plays forward when he plays for Fitzroy in the amateur competition, he's had to play back today. Even though he's a versatile player, it just goes to show they do have some riches up forward to Carlton.
Certainly in terms of tall targets. Back in the middle, O'Keefe now in the ruck. Takes it out contemptuously and wins the clearance. Kick inside the 50. One-on-one contest.
Well
well stolen there by Stevens. Just couldn't quite break away. Did all the hard work. Gillard parries it up. Kennedy, Kalpakis, kick partially smothered. Still a chance ultimately for the Blues. High kick around the corner. Almost taken there by Poole. Follows up with the tackle. And we'll have a ball up. That kick around the corner initially coming from Phillips, but free kick's been plucked out.
The other umpire closer to us here has paid that.
It's a late free kick as well. Walker to Sarong. It's called to play on. He's a long kick of the footy, Sarong. Use the aid of the breeze. Probing kick towards centre wing. Good grab taken there by Valentine, who goes laterally. Dintino Sante. Here's the chain through the corridor, which is what Coburg love to do. Tui feeds it back. Tomasiello towards half forward. They're spotting up the targets pretty well today, aren't they? Holistically. Kick by Trudgeon towards full forward. Carries the pack. Works towards the goal line, and Boyd rushes it through for a behind.
Goes to show the way they play, though, Coburg. Valentine takes a big mark on the wing, and without hesitation, he looks inboard. Spots up a dangerous kick, but nonetheless, that's the way they like to play, Coburg. And a few years ago, that might have been a turnover, but they've just now improved their ability to hit that lateral kick.
Boyd flies another 10 metres. It's not a clean kick at all. He's turned it over to Trudgeon. Well, unforced error once again. And Trudgeon is capable from here, particularly with the breeze. Tui wanted the run by hand pass, but I think Trudgeon's going to take the initiative. So Joel Trudgeon, been a prolific ball winner this season, averaging 31 disposals per game from 57 metres out. With the aid of the breeze, it's on target. Just faded late into the post. The umpire signalling a behind. It looked like it was going to float through, and then that late deviation. So Wilson clears here for the Blues. They're very quick on the counter-attack. Stevens. Good transition. Ramshaw. Good spoil from Sarong over the top. Well, they just have enough overlap runners here. Hand pass in front of himself. Phillips, Trudgeon. Ran into a teammate. It was Vickery who just lost it there for the Blues. Gentili on the counter-attack. Sweeps the hand pass over the top, and they can work it through the middle. Tomasiello, open 50 beckons. Here's a chance for Valentine and co. The ball bounces. Still bouncing. Eventually it's taken by Phillips. Rockets a hand pass off to Binns. Works it forward for Carlton. Good spot up there. Left half back remaining composed. The mark taken by Charleston.
They had a 2-on-1 then, Coburg in their forward line. And if Valentine was just able to bring that ball to ground, Jack Andrew was on.
I think it just carried further than they all expected. Yeah. That's the fickle nature of the breeze. Vickery takes the mark just inside the boundary line. Kick towards Nelson. I think Vickery was dispatched after he kicked the footy, so it'll be a downfield free kick to Nelson.
Watch O'Keefe here.
He looks towards McMahon in the pocket and finds him. O'Keefe is at full forward. Does McMahon go for home? It is a stiff breeze. He's right on the boundary line.
But it goes to show again, we saw on that kick out Billy Wilson's ability to hit a target, a difficult target, with ease. So I think if you're a Carlton fan, you'd be thinking to yourself, if they have an issue in their AFL team, it's with their use by foot. So Billy Wilson, as I said, he's not finding a heap of the ball, but he does have the ability to hit a target.
McMahon's kicked 11 goals for the season. It's a tough shot from 40 metres out. Goes across the face of goal. Pitnet couldn't take the mark. Spills out. Poole tries to protrude through. Hand pass dispatched. Here's Walker. Hacks it out of the congestion. Boyd. Was there frontal contact? Not according to the umpire. Can Coburg take advantage here? Padaski went without it. Wilson paddles it to his advantage. He's lifted this quarter. The hand pass went astray. He'll get it back potentially, Billy Wilson. Still paddling. It's turned over. Lefroy getting involved again. Padaski back to Walker. We'll chip it towards half forward. They did pretty well there, Coburg. Allison off for a gallop from 53 metres out. Set sail for home. It's across the face and marked right on the goal line there by Lucas Camporelli.
It was really excellent work by Allison defensively. Didn't give away the free kick against Boyd, who looked to be hurt in that contest, but I think he's okay now.
Phillips. Lucas Camporelli. It's a wayward kick. And it's gone out of the full. So it looks like it's going to be a Coburg free kick. Just have to be a little bit cleaner in their disposal here, the Blues. Yeah, Walker to take it.
This is a really tough kick. Just due to that left to right breeze. So just sit it up there is perhaps the best option he has.
He tried to find Padaski. Still could work out here. Thompson breaks the tackle. Snap around the corner. He would have missed anyway, but I think it went out of play.
All right. So we saw one of the last boundary throw-ins. I think it was Gentili who kicked a goal.
Yes.
So need to be on guard to the Carlton mids and defenders here. The mosquitoes are going to bite.
Hasn't been as prominent this quarter, Gentili, just in the last 5 minutes, but probably a little bit tough on him. He's been pretty consistent throughout the season. Bevy of players dive on top of it. Trudgeon involved, holding the ball.
Oh. Wow.
Well, was there prior in that situation? There were a sea of players, a sea of humanity on top of it, so it'll be a Coburg free kick. What was your first impression there, Dan?
Well, it was difficult to see. There were 4 or 5 guys jumped on the ball there, but I'll let the umpire make the call, and it's our man again.
From 35 metres out. Kick from Gentili is through the centre. Well, just as I said, he might have faded out over the last few minutes. He makes an impact straight away with another goal. He's got 2, and Coburg, career away again.
Well, he's still having a day. He's Flynn Gentili, 13 disposals and 2
good.
goals coming in this quarter. Perhaps fortuitous that free kick, but we did see 1 or 2 in the first quarter Carlton's way as well. And I think this is a handy lead now, 17 points. Carlton really fought well to bridge that lead, but Coburg have got it out to 17 at the 25-minute mark of this second quarter.
7-6 to 4-7. Gentili, again crafty, again out of a stoppage effectively. He's so dangerous, back in the middle. Keogh wins it down. Gentili with the hand pass. They're happy to concede ground and then work it forward. Braden Gillard with a high kick this time. There's a whistle off the play. Free kick going the Blues' way. Looks like it'll be taken by Harvey. One of the inclusions for the Blues in the lineup today. Zane Harvey. Fitzroy background, of course. Chips it short to Charlton. Came through the Coates Talent League competition, of course. Being acquitted to the VFL standard. Kick by Charlton towards centre wing. Pitnet, good grab.
Way too strong for Ingo Dammersmith on that occasion, Pitnet.
Bit of a mismatch, isn't it? Dammersmith is competitive in the air, though. Kick by Pitnet towards Levy. Wants to get his hands on it, the big man, and he takes the mark. 55 metres out from goal. Kicks it long towards full forward, but McMahon almost couldn't quite take the mark. Follows up well. Kick smothered off the boot. Might get a second crack at it. Pull. Check side. Goes across the face. And it's gone out of play. Out on the full. Free kick to be taken by Kennedy.
Just goes to show how dangerous, though, their tools are. Pitnet marks, then Lemmy marks, and McMahon nearly marks.
Braden Gillard on the last line. Takes it from Kennedy and goes short to Galvin. Well, it's a risky kick from Galvin. He's turned it over. Francis Evans takes the mark. Just a set shot already. He's kicking into the breeze. He's going to set it up to the top of the goal square here. That's exactly what he does. The delivery pretty good. Now, whistle off the play. It's going to be a free kick. Nelson played on with the advantage. I think it's going to come back, though. Wait on the goal umpire. But I think it is coming back. The field umpire pretty adamant. So a free kick to the situation here where it might have been off the plate.
Maybe Darcy Hogg, is it? Who's got the free? No,
No,
it is
McMahon.
McMahon. Okay.
Darcy Hogg was waiting in the area. I think he was keen, but McMahon will take the free kick. After all of that, they just had to retrieve the footy. So Liam McMahon, hasn't kicked one yet today. He's been prolific in front of goal for a while now for the Blues. He's kicked 11 for the season. They need this one on the brink of half-time. 15 metres out, directly in front, makes no mistake. Liam McMahon, the co-skipper, stands up by example and the margin back to 11.
Well, the listeners are going to tell me to shut up, but that's 5 goals for Carlton and 5 from their tools. McMahon is that sort of player who can, you won't see him for a quarter or two, but he'll bob up and he'll kick 2 quick goals Last week he did it against Geelong. I think he kicked 2 in that last quarter. Had 3 for the game. There is some interest in him. Chatting to a few people here at the stadium before the game in Liam McMahon.
He was always bobbing around, wasn't he, around the top of the Frosty Miller medal count last year.
What did he kick? 45 goals last year, I think, from memory.
Had a couple of big bags as well. Back in the middle, Pitnet wins it down. Could the Blues string a couple together just before half-time and make it interesting? It certainly is delicately poised at the moment. Coburg haven't run away with it in this quarter with the breeze. At the same token, they're still in front by virtually a couple of goals. They'd be happy with that to half-time. Keogh wins it down. Stevens had the arm pinned. Spills free. Brommel shows the footy and then drills it inside the 50. No mark taken by Andrew. Good evasive skills from Monaghan. The Irishman gives it off. Bins. Chips it short. Brommel going back with the flight. Takes a good mark.
Yeah, there's something to work here with Rob Monaghan, I think. I know he doesn't, we keep on saying it, he doesn't touch the ball a lot, but his ability to defend, keep his feet.
Brommel with his 12th possession. Goes long towards full forward. Valentine presents. Almost held the mark. Ball comes to ground level. Oh, was that disguised or not from Bins? No. Free kick to Coburg. Insufficient intent.
That was worse than Tony Mockbell's disguise.
So, Joel Trudgeon to be the beneficiary. He's outside the boundary line. Incredibly difficult shot. He's got the Brevard behind him from 50 metres out. Will fade towards the goal square. Off hands. Is it a goal here? It could not be for Jordan Gillard. Oh! Jordan Gillard opportunistic. Just got his boot to ball a millimetre from the goal line. Judging the crumbing situation to perfection. And he puts it through for the Burgers. That's a crucial goal on the brink of halftime.
Well, it is, and I actually stopped watching there. I thought the Carlton defender had either taken the mark or the ball had been taken over, but I'd be really disappointed with that, the Carlton defence, particularly just before half-time, to give up an easy goal. I was actually going to maybe have a bit of a crack there at the Coburg player who kicked the ball in, Joel Trudgeon. I thought he probably just needed to sit the ball at the top of the goal square. Anyway, it's a goal, and they're out again to a 17-point lead.
8-6 to 5-7. It's been to and fro around that 2 to 3 goal margin for much of the quarter in favour of Coburg, and they win the clearance yet again. No surprise to see this man involved. Gentili drilling kick inside the 50. Hand pass slung out the back. It's a poor one from O'Farrell. Brommel can take advantage towards full forward, but getting back, Phillips takes a good mark.
He loves this situation, Ethan Phillips. Often plays the goalkeeper type role. But Coburg really starting to dominate out of the middle of the ground.
Gee, Phillips was made to work for it there. Lucas Camporelli gets it back. Gives it to his brother Ben, and now Rampshaw. Kick down the line is okay. So they managed to work it out of defence there, the Blues. It wasn't the most consistent or convincing passage of play. I think they just don't want to concede before half-time now. They've got the aid of the breeze potentially in the third term. 17 points the margin at the present time. Not far away from half-time. Big fly over the back from Galvin. Couldn't take the mark. Tries to retrieve it. He's tackled. Still manages to rein in the footy. Off to Walker.
He's strong, Galvin. Really strong.
Kennedy kicked down the line towards Dintin Osante. Spoiled away. Camporelli tackled as the siren sounds for half-time. And Coburg on Vicky Cleary Day
right back, and it was just that late goal I think they'd be disappointed with that extended the lead to 17 points.
What can Carlton muster in this third quarter? They have the aid of a slight breeze as Pitnet wins the free kick out of the ruck contest.
It's a great battle, this one. I think Pitnet and O'Keefe have had the better of Cooper Keogh today.
Walker with the fist. Blues have the numbers at ground level. Kick around the corner from Stevens towards full forward. Well, they've got the tall timber up forward, and that man again, Hudson O'Keefe, out in front, takes the mark. He can line up from probably about 28 metres out.
He's having an absolute day out, is Hudson O'Keefe. I did watch him in a game last year, and I just didn't think he had this capability, but as he's getting older, I think he's just had his 20th birthday. He's potentially going to kick his 4th goal, all from overhead marks too.
And he steers it. Oh, that dip off the post. I think it did. Yep. Umpire calls it. So a behind. Wasn't far away. And again, that cross breeze proving to be a bit precarious for some of the players from a set shot at that end.
So that's going to be the challenge. Can Kalpakis, Galvin, Damasmith, these types, can they just keep the Carlton Tools at bay? And as we say it, Pitnet takes another mark.
He's 65 metres out from goal. Pokes it in towards the pocket. McMahon leads out this time. Couldn't take the mark. Well done from Evans. Back turn out of trouble was good. In a confined space. Good smother there from Galvin in front of the Brevren. We'll have a throw in. 37 out now from the Carlton goal.
Just hasn't been able to impact the scoreboard, has he, Frankie? He's had a few shots on goal. He's only kicked the 3 behinds.
Did well to evade the traffic there. He was in a confined space. Just couldn't get the kick away without it being stymied. Throw in. Pitnet takes it out of the ruck. Gives it off. Evans. Now a chance for Hogg. Steadies towards goal and puts it through for the Blue Baggers.
And Pitnet once again being able to grab the ball out of the ruck. There looks to be an issue here though with Cooper Keogh. He grabbed his foot at that boundary throw in and
oh yes,
he's hobbling around like Cliff Young. So let's just hope that's nothing too serious, because I know there is genuine interest in Cooper Keogh.
He's pretty keen to get to the ruck contest, so maybe he's just trying to walk it off.
You've just got to be smart here. If you do have an injury concern, particularly with the feet, maybe best to have a spell on the bench and get it checked out. So I'll keep an eye on that. But Pitnet, he just has that ability to grab the ball out of the ruck. Both ruckmen sky high in confidence for Carlton right now. They're plucking everything. Margin
back to 10 points. I knew the Blues would come, particularly with the aid of the breeze in this third term. Can Coburg withstand it? Trudgett is tackled to the turf. Thereby Pitnet will have a secondary ball up. So very good conditions for footy. Slight breeze, as I said. Top temperature of around 22 degrees, 23 degrees today. Pitnet wins it down. Fitness will become a factor, you would sense, given we'd probably regard this as unseasonably warm conditions for this time of year. It's going to be 25 tomorrow in Melbourne too. Ball up. Pitnet takes it out of the ruck again. He's winning the battle. There's no doubt about that. Kick towards left half forward. Moyer. Haven't seen much of him today. Tries to trap it with his foot. Did it well. Got the hand pass away, but it was mistimed in the end. Tui gives it off. Trudgeon. The Coburg ball winners certainly working it well. Damasmith towards Padatsky. Goes back with the flight. Padatsky is going to be paid the free kick. Got a shove in the back.
I know I sound like Slug Jordan, but you've got to get the boy off. Cooper Keogh, he can hardly walk, so someone needs to identify that, I think.
Just lumbering around. Padatsky, meantime, kicking towards the forward pocket. Pitnet going back with the flight. Couldn't quite take the mark. Still a live ball. Ramshaw waiting for it to come out. It's not forthcoming. We'll have a ball up. So can Coburg respond here against a slight breeze? I think it has dissipated a little bit as the afternoon has worn on. O'Farrell went without it. Kick off the deck. Slight fumble from Mason, and it could be costly because the Blues could very well be away here. Mark taken ultimately here by McMahon, who's come a long way up the field. He goes short. O'Keefe takes it. Good play from Hogg to keep running. He presents here at half forward. He was the one who initiated the kick. He went without it that time. Mason followed him. Goes short. Gentili marks just travelled the required meterage according to the umpire. Gentili concedes ground to Braden Gillard. Saw Jordan Gillard kick a crucial goal on the cusp of half-time for Coburg, taking advantage of some lacklustre Carlton defence on the goal line. Gentili again.
Well set up defensively here, Carlton. They're prepared for the Coburg switch now, so well done.
Pitnet at ground level. He's tried hard, hasn't he, so far in this third term. He's taken to the ground, ball up. So Gentili up to 15 disposals. Joel Trudgeon has 15. Jordan Boyd 16 for the Blues. Donovan Tui has also been a big accumulator. Ball up once again. Keogh tackled down. Dintino Sante got a little kick away. I think Keogh's going to come off the ground as the ball goes out. So we'll keep an eye on that because he's just struggling with his foot. He's shaking the head.
He's moving like me after a 10K run. I'm double his age plus a little bit too. So yeah,
10Ks isn't too bad, by the way.
Really struggling.
Throw in. Pitnet double palms it down into the path of Evans. Tries to slap it forward inside the 50. Stevens will try and run onto this one. Gillard on his hammer gets there first and forces it out.
So that might mean that Dom Payman has to ruck for a significant amount of time in this second half, and Dom Payman is normally a forward, so he might just have to knuckle down here.
There's a chance Ryan Valentine could have a stint at the ruck to maybe give him a chop out as well if needed.
I love that idea.
Speaking of which, Payman to Gillard. They work it out okay. Gentili down the line towards left half back. Valentine in front. Was he held onto there by Phillips? He was.
He's good at assuming front position, is Valentine. He hasn't just been able to clunk his marks, but that's the second time he's got a free kick from being able to use his body well in a contest.
Former Casey Premiership player. Valentine down the line. Big fly from Andrew. He loves a big fly. Couldn't take it that time. Brommel. Andrews down behind the play. Meantime, the Blues create a bit of a turnover here. Binns will run onto the loose football. Jackson Binns hard up against the line. Hoists a floating kick high. There's no one home for Carlton. Fortuitously, it came off the hand of Sarong, so they'll get a stoppage inside their 450, the Blues. And that breeze, just as I said, it dissipated. It's picked up again.
So Jack Andrew is now coming off the ground after that ambitious fly, and he may have hit his head. Hopefully it's just winded or something of that nature, so we'll see what happens there.
Looks like he's got his faculties at least. Pitnet tries to hand it off to Moyer, went without it. This man's been pretty good so far this quarter. Evans squares it up inside the 50. Nelson takes the mark on the chest. Well done from Evans to persist. And Nelson could line up for a crucial kick. 35 out.
It was just the area that he kicked it to, Frankie Evans. It was a special kick. It didn't look aesthetically pleasing, but
it was still tough in that situation.
Yeah.
He had the players coming at him. He was in a confined space, hard up against the line. So this is a crucial kick. Luke Nelson against his old team. Right behind this one. Slightly worse off than a 45-degree angle. This to bring the margin back to within 4 points. Luke Nelson from 38 metres out. Hits the post. Second poster of the quarter for the Blues.
I think we've seen 4 or 5 posters today. Some of them called, some of them not called.
And we've seen it go from left to right, haven't we, at that end? Just that late fade.
Yeah, is that breeze as strong as the first half, do you think, Damien?
I don't think there's a significant amount of difference. Mason. Pitnet came in from the side. He's been good so far this quarter. Did Tino Sante like a karate kick. Almost got it out. Stevens to Evans. Sweeps the hand pass inboard. McMahon's there. It's slapped away from his composure there. Ramshaw. Kick around the corner towards full forward. Moyer's there. Lemmy, can he get into the contest? He's taken to the ground. And we've got a ball up. Hard up against the goal line for Carlton. Dammer Smith getting involved. Ball up. Tapped down by Payman. Quick kick out of the congestion. That came from Kennedy. Towards left half back for the Burgers. Slap clear by Jordan Gillard. That was pretty good. Podaski getting involved again. Thompson to Braden Gillard. Streaming off half back. Hogg went down behind the play. I think the umpire just paying the advantage anyway. Lefroy waiting for the traffic to pass by. Gets around Charleston. Kicks laterally to Tui. Leading possession winner on the ground. Now up to 21 for the game. Chips it short. Good play from Kennedy back to Tui. Drills it inside the 50. Miscue with the kick there. It's going to be intercepted.
Yeah, that's 3 or 4 inside 50s for Donovan Tui today that haven't quite worked. They like the ball in his hands, but been picked off a bit today.
Phillips to Wilson. Sounds like a band from the 90s. Here's a chance now for Pitnet. Taps it down. Did Tino Sante.
Well, good tackle.
Very well tackled by Luke Nelson. He's lifted this quarter. So Luke Nelson between half-back and centre wing. Just sizing up the options here. He goes short to Binns. Oh, he caught one. He was made to earn it from Mason.
Yeah, I
and
agree with that.
50-metre penalty.
He's given him the old karate chop to the solar plexus.
So Jackson Binns, how have you seen his game so far? Just having a look at his stats. He'll come up for possession number 17.
He's had some good moments where I think he's kicked the ball to the right area. He still needs to improve both his decision-making and the result.
Moyer with the tackle. Lemmy was the initial target. Umpire calls for a ball up.
So they'd be wanting to get some reward for effort here, Carlton. I think they've controlled the first 10 minutes in this third quarter, but they've only scored the 1 goal.
Had a couple of posters Millimetres can make a difference in this game, as we've seen over the years. Ramshaw with a good tackle. Ball up. Is it the calm before the storm? Ball up again. One down by Pitnet. Good tackle from Brommel there on a man who's been omnipresent this quarter, Frankie Evans. Ball up.
All right, so just watch this clearance here with Pitnet controlling the space against an inexperienced Payman. Well done, Payman.
Payman did it well, didn't he? Down to Tui. And it's pretty stoppage heavy at the moment. They don't mind this, Coburg. The more time comes off the clock in this third quarter with them in front, the happier they'll be. Pitnet wins it down. Well roved in the end by Evans, but the kick is a straight and sneaks in for a behind. So another behind for the Blues.
And another Coburg player down, it looks like. Two. They might be okay.
Yeah, that was Gillard who just picked himself up. So 8-6 to 6-10. It's an 8-point margin in favour of Coburg in front of their home fans. A good crowd in attendance today. Perfect weather conditions really for a day at the footy.
Good news for Coburg is Jack Andrews just come back on the ground. He looked like he may have been assessed and he's been given the green tick.
Ferronato to try and run onto it from the bins hand pass. Trying to wrest control of the football. He can't extricate it out. We've got a ball up. Good tackle there from Tomasiello. Had a very good first quarter for Coburg. He really starred when they went on that run early. And that really has probably proven to be the difference so far in the game when they went out of the blocks with 3 goals. Moyer with the tackle, ball up.
They had no ruckman at that contest, did Carlton, because Pitnet had just changed over with O'Keefe off the bench.
O'Keefe did win that one down, and he follows up with a good tackle as well. In the back, though, according to the umpire. Brommel to take the free.
Yeah, Hugo the Bull Brommel. He's just a warrior. Loves the ball being within a short area. That's where he goes to work. Tough midfielder. 16
disposals for him today. Here's Trudgeon with the hand pass. Allison had time to give it off. Payman hacks it on the boot towards left half forward. It floats in the breeze. Phillips going back did well to stymie Andrew, who's back on the ground, as you said, Dan. And we'll have a throw in.
And that's actually well done by Jack Andrew, because we've talked about Ethan Phillips' love for the high ball as an intercepting defender. He's taken, I think, 7 marks today, Ethan Phillips, so had another say on this contest, deep in defence.
Throw in. Payman wins it down. Walker. Tui. Dinky little kick. Payman feeds it back to Walker. Sweeping hand pass. Just didn't quite go far enough. Fins has lifted in this quarter. Well done from Walker to apply the pressure, but it ends up with Ben Camporelli. Good smother from Dammer Smith doing the defensive things that he loves. That's his trademark. Those 1%ers that will have a throw in.
Well, it's been that type of quarter. The ball really has been kept in tight. A lot of stoppages, a lot of turnovers. We saw the ball zinging around in that first half, but not in this quarter.
Last time they met, round 16 in 2023, Coburg lost to Carlton by 52 points. Coburg only kicked 1 goal in the first half that day. Kicked by Tomasiello will go out of bounds in front of Valentine. So they've come a long way, haven't they? They really struggled in 2023. Had a few stirring wins in 2022 against the likes of the Gold Coast and Frankston, but wins have been hard to come by over the years. They improved a little bit last year, and they've certainly improved at the start of 2025. O'Keefe, slight little wind out. Hand pass from Hogg is okay. Kick down the line from Ferronato towards Lemmy. Goes over his head. Tracking it back here, trying to keep it in was Kalpakis. Lemmy did well to force him out, and a bit of a shove, and how do you do? The Coburg crowd certainly full of voice today. They're not as rowdy as they used to be back in the 80s in their golden era, but obviously things have changed. It's a good actual venue for attendance for families in particular. There's a lot of families in attendance today. Did Tino Sante. Payman had to do a lot of work. Dispatched. Ferronato chips it inside the 50. Lemmy couldn't quite get to the contest. Sarong almost tackled there by Moyer. Got the disposal away. McMahon with a good tackle on Galvin. I think that's a throw. Holding the ball. So Liam McMahon with that pressure inside the 450. That's what coaches love. I mean, you can go out and kick goals, but applying the pressure on the defenders is so crucial.
Well, was that initial one on Sarong, who just got caught blindsided. He then put Galvin under pressure, and maybe Galvin might have been better served just holding onto that ball and getting another stoppage, but here's Liam McMahon again. He just bobs up, doesn't he?
Hasn't had a huge amount of the footy. He's kicked 1 goal. Leads the goal kicking count for Carlton this season, as he did last year. Still tricky with the cross breeze. From 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. Kick on the way. It's straight over the goal umpire's hat. Liam McMahon with his second. And the margin back to within 2 points here at Barry Plant Park. That's what they needed, the Blues. They've been threatening for much of the quarter. They've dominated the territory battle without it being reflected on the scoreboard. And they get a crucial goal there through their tall key forward, who's worked his way up the ground on a couple of occasions today. We normally see him just stay within that 25-metre radius from goal. And he has been for much of the game. He contributes on the scoreboard there.
I think they can be really pleased with their clearance effort today, Carlton. I think one of the strengths going into this game for mine was looking at the teams on paper was Coburg's strong midfield and Trudgeon and Bromell, Gentili, Dintin, Asante. But Carlton have actually outworked them and lead the clearance numbers 24-21.
Well, Coburg don't have Jack Bytel in the lineup today. He's normally one of their key clearance winners. Valentine in the ruck, as I suspected. He would come in as a pinch hit secondary ruckman. Dintin Asante with the tackle, ball up. Yeah, Jack Bytel, of course, out of the side today. He was one of their star signings with a hamstring injury. Trudgeon tackled by Ferranado, ball up. But they've done well to compensate without him, haven't they?
They have.
Haven't necessarily won the clearance battle, but they've been good in and under in the midfield. Dintin Asante, one of those players, floats it inside the 50. Carlton have a bevy of numbers. And they'll clear it here. Phillips to Lucas Camparelli. Goes short towards his brother Ben. Has to stand tall here. Did well in the contest. Monahan just got rid of the football. Well done there from Kennedy. We'll get it back with the 1-2 combining with Lefroy. Still a chance for Kennedy. Gives it off to Trudgeon. On the runway. Hooks the kick. And that's gone out of the full. So just a little bit overzealous with the adrenaline there. Phillips to bring it back in for the Blues.
Yeah, they did well to work it with hands there, did Coburg, but just unable to finish was Joel Trudgeon.
Sometimes with the adrenaline's rushing, you can hook the kick or get carried away. The goals light up in that type of situation. Pins down the line.
Hold on.
That went off the boot there, I think, of Tui. We'll have, in fact, it was Galvin. We'll have a throw in. In fact, it's gone out of the full, so it'll be a Carlton free kick to Charlson. So Charlson, umpire just working him back over his mark. He's going to concede ground here, and they'll probably deploy the switch. This is Phillips. He's got O'Farrell all on his own, lurking ominously. Kick towards centre wing. Here's the switch, and here's the free space and acreage for Vickery. He's happy to just hold things up, wait for the traffic to pass by. Now he goes for a gallop. Vickery on the left foot. Probing kick inside the 50. McMahon nudged underneath it, and a good mark taken there on the last line. Padaski working into defence. We've seen that. I remember he did a bit of a changeover against Richmond going back in round one. He played the third quarter in defence after lining up forward for much of the first half.
Yeah, looks like they're getting numbers behind the ball now, Coburg, just to stop the bleeding a little bit. Perhaps just get to three-quarter time.
Conserving and preserving, as they say. Kennedy to Dintin Asante, and I think you're right based on the body language there from Dintin Asante. They just want to hold things up, stifle the momentum of the Blues. Sarong to Padaski. Methodically chipping the ball around here. Kalpakis called to play on. Padaski just eating up some more stats. Kicked a couple of goals early in the contest. Drilling kick is okay from Kalpakis. Now, can they break the lines here, or are they happy to go with that chip play? Braden Gillard's got it. Point to the centre square. Hand pass to Trudgeon. Back to Gillard. Stripped to the footy. Has to go and retrieve it. Trudgeon did well. Has to hold up in the tackle. Well done, Nelson, to apply it. We'll have a ball up.
I think they'll be disappointed with that because they were controlling the ball by feet, just chipping it around, and then decided to run and gun it a little bit, and that's where they made the error.
Heading into time on in this third term. 2 points the margin in favour of Coburg. It's been a bit of a pedestrian last 5 minutes. Hogg can change that. Goes long towards McMahon. Padaski all on his own. Takes it uncontested. Lemmy was a little bit exasperated, wanting the ball to be delivered to him as he was in space.
And so should Lemmy be exasperated because they've had a number of inside 50s and they just bombed the ball a little bit too much for mine, have the Blues. Only 2 goals in the quarter. They've had so many inside 50s.
Mason down the line. Valentine will be paid the mark. Ryan Valentine, who's stepped up in responsibility in his third term with Cooper Keogh off the ground, doing a bit of ruck work, and his ground coverage has been pretty good as well. Padaski goes short to Walker. Been pretty good today, although his disposal efficiency has occasionally let him down. Kalpakis short to Galvin. That just travelled the required meterage. Galvin with a risky kick laterally. It's okay to Sarong. They continue to methodically chip it around, frustrating Carlton. Gentili, Padaski.
This is a real challenge for the Blues. How are they going to defend this when a team just decides to control the ball?
This is Richmond 2006 sort of areas against the Crows. Walker at left half back. Walker, they're being very methodical here. Kicks it back to full back to Padaski. He's going to have a pretty good quarter stats-wise. Oh, poor kick. Just as I say that, the efficiency let himself down there. Kalpakis dropped it too, and it spills over the line. So, a chance now for the Blues to capitalise. They've got a throw in just inside their attacking 50, deep in the pocket as a matter of fact, so they're probably about 30 metres out from goal. The breeze howling here at Barry Plant Park. Good attendance, hope you're enjoying it on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. O'Keefe wins it down. Fickle bounce. Tackle from Ben Camporelli on Mason. It'll be a ball up. Donovan Tui up to 26 touches. Max Kennedy's had a good quarter. He's got 20, along with Gentili for Coburg. Leading possession winner for the Blues, Jackson Binns, has lifted 19 touches. Struggle for possession around this football here. Hogg tries to will it out. Ben Camporelli with a hand pass towards Binns. 45 out from goal. Taps it over the boundary line, so we'll have a throw in on the attacking 50 for the Blues.
That's all they're trying to do here, Coburg, is just get the outnumber situation to make it really difficult for Carlton to have scoring opportunities.
I see Hudson O'Keefe lurking around in the ruck here. They've got McMahon.
Every player here, Damien, is in Carlton's forward half. Huge numbers around the ball.
O'Keefe down to Ramshaw. Here's Nelson. Couldn't quite get boot to ball efficiently. Trudgeon with the hand pass. He's forced to ground. Nelson tries to extract it out. Kennedy's in there. He can't break free of the tackle. And the umpire comes in to ball it up. Coburg just absorbing the pressure at the moment, aren't they? Ball up. O'Keefe wins it down. Dintino Sante out of the congestion. Hooks it out on the full and almost into the grandstand. So can the Blues take advantage? It's a very congested forward line. The
issue here for Coburg is they haven't been able to defend the high ball. So Jordan Boyd, who's one of their best ball users and smartest players, what will he do here? And can Carlton take a catch?
Boyd almost going for home. It's going to land right to the line and through for a behind. So it's a 1-point ball game here at Barry Plant Park. Coburg 8-6, Carlton 7-11.
And Jordan Boyd putting up the apologetic after I stuffed up hand. But it was a poor kick. He just needed to sit that 10 metres out and let his big guys go to work.
Tui to bring it back in. Leading possession winner on the ground. Up to 27. He'll buy another 10 metres, imploring his charges to lead at him. Goes long. O'Keefe over the top. Couldn't take the mark. Ferronato off to Binns. Hooks it round the corner towards Nelson. Couldn't take the mark. Walker grabbed. Oh, did he drag it back in? Did he drag it back in? No.
Oh, wow. He did actually drag that back in. Maybe the umpire was blindsided there. Thought he was going to pull the trigger.
Bit fortuitous. Ben Camporelli slings it out. Walker gets a little kick forward for Coburg, getting valuable territory, and it bounces out of play. They're not going to play it. Insufficient intent there. Boyd asking the question. So 1-point ball game. They'd be happy, Coburg, with the lead, given they've got a slight breeze in the last quarter. It's probably more blowing across the ground than it was prior, where it was sort of direct, which sometimes happens here at Barry Plant Park. Valentine wins it down. Gentili reaches himself free. Gives it off to Brommel. Hard up against the line. Drives the left foot kick forward. Charlton in front. Couldn't take the mark. Quick hand pass is okay from Harvey to Hogg. Free kick in the back. It's going to come back to Harvey. Dane Harvey, one of the inclusions for the Blues today. It's had a couple of touches. Goes short to Phillips at centre half back. Hogg. They wouldn't want to concede the Blues after they've dominated the territory battle over the last 10 minutes. really be morale sapper, if that were to be the case. Kick by Charlton inside the 50. Ooh. Evans couldn't quite hold on to it. Gives a hand pass off into the path of Nelson. Well breaks free. Snapper on the body. And Carlton are in front. Great kick, Luke Nelson, against his old team. Crafty work. He'd been threatening for a while, and the Blues lead by 5 points.
And he's had a nearly day, hasn't he, Frankie Evans? And he nearly took that mark, but good on him for his quick recovery and his quick give to Nelson, who's been prominent this quarter. I think he only had 2 or 3 touches in the first half. As you mentioned, now he's up to, I think he's up to 9 disposals and a goal. So that was the goal they needed, and you could almost sense they were going to get that. Coburg, though, they soaked up, say, 6 or 7 minutes of game time. There, so well done to them, but Carlton have hit the lead now.
Would you say if the Blues kick another, that's virtually level pegging if you consider the breeze? Come three-quarter time?
I think Carlton would want a 2-goal buffer at three-quarter time.
There's still a chance of doing that. Almost 27 minutes gone. Ball up in the middle. Pitnet back in the ruck. Wins it down. Ramshaw overran it, and he has time to recover. Concedes ground. Gets the hand pass off to Ben Camporelli. The 1-2 back to Ramshaw. Chips it short. This is good play from Ramshaw. He kept on running. Drills it inside the 50. The kick let him down, however. Evans applying the pressure. Hand pass comes back. Tomasiello feeds it off to Sarong. There's normally a long kick. He goes down the line. Ramshaw, I think, infringed there. The old chopping of the arms.
And I think they'll just go slow here. Coburg, no rush.
Just want to hold on to it before three-quarter time. Trudgeon, the beneficiary for Coburg at right half-back. Goes down the line. Almost held up in the breeze there, so clearly there's still a bit of a breeze out there for the players to try and work with. Allison, quick hand pass towards Walker. Feeds it off. Gentili feigned the hand pass and did it well. Gets around Ben Camporelli with consummate ease. Kick towards half-forward. Payman the target. Payman the marker. 55 metres out from goal. Gives it off. Allison drills it inside the 50. Chance for Andrew around the corner. Finds Lefroy. He'll wheel around to the right foot and put Coburg back in front.
That was ambitious by Lefroy because it was 28 minutes, and I just wondered if, if a siren goes, he doesn't know where time is at. But excellent kick by Jack Andrew. Just he was right on the boundary line and just a smart kick there. He could have potentially blazed away.
Lefroy has been relatively quiet in this third term. I know he hasn't been down there in the forward line as much. He was prominent early. He set up the first goal. He's playing against his old team today, of course. Lefroy was in Carlton's VFL lineup last year. Very crafty crummer.
At times, Carlton have struggled to defend when Coburg play that run and gun game with their hands. They'll take a mark and then they'll play on unexpectedly, and Carlton have just struggled to defend it at times.
So Coburg back in front by a solitary point on the cusp of three-quarter time. Back in the middle. Can the Blues respond? Pitnet wins it down. Trudgeon tries to extract it out, and a secondary ball up ensues.
So full credit to Ryan Valentine. I'm not sure if he rucks at a lower level, but he's been competitive here against Mark Pitnet.
Remember when he was playing for Casey, there were times where he was a secondary ruckman, so he has played that role before on the odd occasion. Coburg win the clearance. Tomasiello, quick hand pass. Drilling kick inside the 50 from Tui. Good mark. Going back with the flight.
Yeah, that's what he's good at, Ethan Phillips. Just reading the ball off the boot and taking the intercept.
Been good today, Ethan Phillips. O'Farrell, Harvey. Back to O'Farrell. Are they going to play out time before three-quarter time here, the Blues, or can they make one last charge to hit the front? Come the final break. Phillips down the line to Binns, who's had a better quarter. Well done, though, from Kennedy. And he's back turned, and he followed up with a brilliant tackle there on Stevens. And the crowd get behind him.
That's excellent. Jackson Binns is protesting that he should have been given a free there, but I just thought that was excellent by Max Kennedy defensively not to give away the free kick.
Ball up. Pitnet wins it down. Brommel wrenches himself free of the contest. Gives it off to Dintino Sante. Back to Brommel. Now Kennedy. Just got the kick away in the nick of time. Hoists it high. Lefroy underneath it. Couldn't take the mark. Wilson on the defensive 50. Arches the back. Kick around the corner. Bit of a bouncing ball. This man's been excellent this third term. Evans. Kick towards the half-forward line, McMahon. A spacious 50 beckoning, and McMahon takes advantage. He can line up from about 40 metres out directly in front.
Now that didn't look like a great kick by Billy Wilson, but what it did was it opened up the ground. It made the ground dangerous for Carlton. They were able to win the ball and get it to a one-on-one.
The old chaos ball, as they say.
That's right. Yep.
It's what Richmond did so well during their era of power. Liam McMahon's kicked a couple. This to regain the lead for the Blues. On the cusp of three-quarter time. Important kick. Liam McMahon, a leader in this side. Can he step up to the plate here for Carlton? He's popped it through. He certainly can stand up. He's got another, and Carlton regain the lead on the cusp of three-quarter time. So 3 goals to Liam McMahon. It was a bit quiet in the first half, but he's taken the opportunities when they presented themselves. He's kicked 3 straight.
And he was just able to read that ball off the boot better than his opponent, Ryan Galvin. As soon as the ball was in the air, Galvin was questioning himself, and McMahon assumed good position and was able to take the mark.
So 9-11 to 9-6. That was a crucial goal. Lefroy kicking one at the other end for Coburg, and then for Carlton to respond just before three-quarter time. Could that be a morale booster for them? One down by Pitnet. Stevens, who's in the middle now. Tackled by Dintino Sante and holding the ball.
Thought he was a bit stiff there, Stevens.
I think members of the crowd agree. Dintino Sante to Tui. Chips it out wide. There's the siren for three-quarter time. We're delicately poised here at Barry Plant Park. Carlton 9-11-65. Narrowly lead over Coburg 9-6-60 in the Smithies VFL competition.
Long term. And that he still gets his opportunity at some stage. But in terms of this contest, it's going to be really interesting because Mark Pitnet is still out there. I just didn't know if Carlton were going to maybe take him off the ground as an insurance policy for their AFL team, but he's still there.
Dintino Sante spirals it inside the 50, works out the back, it bounces on its point. Harvey, hand pass out the back door was very clever, almost nonchalant. Lucas Camparelli and O'Farrell try and work it out. O'Farrell off the ground, comes unstuck. Allison with the hand pass out the back door. Good tackle there from Ferronato. Jed Tilley tries to wrench himself free. Hands off to Allison. Snap around the body. And Coburg back in front.
All off the back of the clearance win in the centre of the ground from Dintino Sante, the jack in the box. And we talked about that dirty ball in their forward line. If the ball hits the ground, watch out, they get to work. On that occasion, it was Matt Allison who kicks the goal.
Been playing as a key forward for much of the year. We know it's Sandy. He often played as a key defender. That was a lovely snap around the body, and he really persisted in that contest as well, chasing those Carlton defenders, applying the initial pressure on the ball carrier. He set it up effectively for a goal for himself. So Coburg back in front. They do have a slight breeze advantage in this last quarter. 10-6 to 9-11. They've led for the majority of the game, the Burgers. Can the Blues respond here? Back in the middle. Pitnet wins it down against Valentine. The ruck situation will be a crucial one. Obviously, with no Cooper Keogh out there, does that have an impact on the contest? Binns did well to evade the contact. Chips it towards Levy at half forward, and Harry Levy takes the mark. Wants to insert his imprimatur on the game. Chips it inside the 50. It's a poor kick. And it's chopped off. Damas Smith. I'm not sure if Lemmy was in two minds in that situation or just miscued with the kick.
I think poor kick has actually been kind. It was a really bad kick.
Damas Smith down the line. Good sport at the back from Phillips there on payment. Kennedy at the full of the ball. Gives it off to Valentine. Drives it long. Look at this. All on his own. Padaski takes the mark. And he can line up from virtually point-blank range to give Coburg a 7-point break.
Smart decision by Valentine. I thought he was going to give the hands off, but he was confident enough in his ability to drive the ball forward. And full credit to him. As we talked about, Cooper Keogh comes off the ground. It looks like advantage Carlton in the rucks, but he's been really competitive as young Ryan Valentine.
So 14 touches, Padaski. He's kicked 2 goals. There's to give them a 7-point break. The Roar tells the story.
Well, they've got to get to work the Carlton midfield here. They've got Ramshaw, they've got Frankie Evans, and they've got Ferranato, who played at local level last week, but he is an on-baller, he is a midfielder, and he has had experience at this level, so really got to dig deep, because this Coburg midfield has played some football together over the last few years. Dinton Asante, Gentili and Trudgeon. They've tried to bludgeon Trudgeon, but he ain't budging as Coburg get out to a 7-point lead.
They've kicked 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the quarter, Coburg. This is a lightning start, similarly to the way they started in the first quarter. Ironically, that was against the Breeze. This time they're with the Breeze. Back in the middle. Pitnet winning it down.
Oh, that's good by Ferranato.
Gives it off to Ramshaw. They win the clearance, the Blues. Driving it inside the 50, but again, that delivery letting them down. Walker takes the intercept mark. Lemmy just couldn't quite get his hands on the footy there or get to the contest. It's not a good kick from Walker. Damas Smith was the initial target. Well done, Lucas Camporelli, to apply the pressure. Moyer likewise. That one flings out towards the boundary line. Wilson appealing for insufficient intent, but it's not forthcoming. Walker again, just letting himself down with his kicking efficiency.
He's a bit like Rory McIlroy over a 3-foot putt in a major, isn't he? Looks like he's second guessing himself. So he needs to work on that because he's such a good player.
He's good at reading the play. He's got that nuance down pat, doesn't he?
Yep.
Pitnet wins it down, but Trudgeon wins the clearance here for Coburg towards half forward. Wilson trying to extract it out. Nothing doing, ball up. Well, Rory McIlroy was able to turn things around earlier this year, so maybe Walker could do the same in that aspect of his game. Ball up. One down by Valentine. Good hand pass from Mason. Dinton Osante short. Gentili back to Dinton Osante. This is a good build-up here for the Burgers. Short pass to Allison. Called to play on. Hoists it high. It's not going to cover the distance. Top of the goal square. Big pack converging. Phillips. Blues under immense pressure. Monahan. Wilson keeps it in play. Did pretty well under pressure. Kicks it high towards right half back. Lucas Camporelli underneath it. Mason spoils it away. We'll have a throw in. Wilson could have easily conceded there, but he did well, though he did place his teammate under pressure with the kick.
They're starting to look really dangerous, though, again, Coburg. They're looking sharp.
Throw in just on the attacking 50 here for the Burgers. Valentine palming it down. Is that a shove in the back? No, not according to the umpire. Evans hacks it into the middle. O'Keefe the target. Just couldn't quite reach him in the end. Mark taken there by Kalpakis, who gives it off. Walker. Chips it inside 50, lowered the eyes, and that was brilliant efficiency to Dinton Osante.
Yeah. It's a good trait to have, a good mental skill to be able to fight back from an error. Well done to Lockie Walker.
And he lowered the eyes as well. Sometimes in that situation with the Breeze at your back, you can just go for home and blaze away. He lowered the eyes, saw Dinton Osante all on his own, and he's capable with this Breeze from this distance range. He's kicked one already. Very opportunistic player, as we've seen over the years. Josh Dinton Osante to increase the lead for Coburg. It's a bit of a floater off the boot. Pitnet parried it down with 2 hands. Works out okay. Lucas Camporelli, hand pass to Ben Camporelli. Umpire calls play on advantage. Kick by Ben Camporelli. It was a bit of a nothing kick in the end. 2-on-1. Lemmy was outnumbered. Kalpakis was getting involved there. Dinton Osante. Kick long inside the 50. Sport the back. The Blues have the numbers here. Harvey, O'Farrell, Phillips, now Boyd. Chips it short. Vickery just inside the boundary line in front of the main grandstand. Vickery down the line. Oh, gee, that was a heavy contest. Poole was absolutely beswept there. Walker did well to slip the tackle of Hogg. Left foot kick inside the 50. Chance for Coburg here. Off hands. Boyd tries to crumb the pack. Affects the tackle. No one can extricate it out. We've got a ball up.
He's probably a little bit stiff there, Ollie Poole. He just got smashed in that contest, and he's a bit of a greyhound. He would only be about, would you say, 70 kilos, maybe a little bit heavier, but he really felt the effects of that one.
Still heavier than me. Blues can clear. Boyd hacks it out of the area. Kick into the middle. Well done by Galvin, who drives it long and hooks the kick into the hot dog stand and out on the full.
Just got a little carried away there.
I'll tell you what, that would have been a team lifter if he dobbed it from out there. And he can with this Breeze.
He doesn't have an AFL footballer's body, Reece Galvin. He's like a running back. He's a big man, a powerful man.
He's good in a one-on-one contest strength-wise. Phillips down the line. Good mark. Brommel.
And talking about AFL bodies as well, Brommel's just a big bull.
The crowd poised. Brommel kicks long towards full forward. Oh, great mark on the chest at the end. Taken there by Payman, who's had to step up in his responsibility with Keogh off the ground. He could line up and give Coburg a 13-point break. Bit of a scuffle behind play.
There is too. Boyd and is it Padaski?
Yep. It was an interesting passage because there was a sea of players around and Payman took it on the chest.
Now I have watched Payman shoot for goal. He's a little bit awkward. I know he's a good kick at amateur level.
He's a good kick there. Payman puts it through. Coburg are going to be tough to beat. He's got his first, and the margin now out to 13 points, and they've dominated so far in this last quarter.
I saw Dom Payman in the practice games for Coburg, and he was able to clunk a few marks, but just wasn't able to hit the scoreboard. A little bit of an awkward kicking action, but
came off the boot very well, though, didn't it?
That one did, and he has been known to kick a bag of goals for Trinity in the amateur competition.
Been a great feeder, hasn't it, to a lot of the VFL clubs. So what can Carlton muster here? We're 9 minutes into the last quarter here on Vicky Cleary Day. Coburg, a big occasion for them in general, isn't it? Big crowd in attendance.
Well, this time last week when the game was on the line, they had the likes of Sam Doherty in the middle of the ground. They don't quite have that luxury. So Frankie Evans and now I think it's Archie Stevens there really need to knuckle down.
That's from a Carlton point of view, and speaking of which, Evans did well to rein it in, but he's tackled. Trudgeon pickpockets him. And we'll have a ball up.
Big recruits for Coburg over the last few years. When Joel Trudgeon came to the club, he's just a warrior. Same with Hugo Brummel.
They're both indefatigable, aren't they? They very rarely get tired.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, even though I don't know what the word means.
Tackle there from Stevens. They don't get fatigued, basically.
Okay.
Ball up. 78-65, Coburg. They poised to claim their second victory of season 2025. Ben Camporelli has something to say about that.
Well done.
Got it back
good
from Ramshaw, but well done from Andrew to apply the pressure. Walker gives it off to Thompson. Now on the counter-attack, a chance for Coburg here. Dammer Smith hacks it inside the 50. Padatsky going back with the flight, couldn't take it. Is that a high tackle there from Phillips? Umpire letting it go. It'll be a ball up.
Carlton player in the middle of the ground. Is it one of the Camporelli boys?
Oh.
I hope not for Carlton's sake. He was hurt by that crunch. I think it was was it Jack Andrew?
Yep. We'll keep an eye on that. Meantime, it's in the pocket. Brommel gang tackled and in the back, according to the umpire.
So 3 trainers here in the middle of the ground, and
It's Ben Camporelli,
oh dear.
and he's in a lot of pain in the middle of the ground. So Ben Camporelli, very sad news. It's been a very bad day in terms of injuries. Cooper Keogh coming off, and Ben Camporelli.
Oh, okay, I'm no medico, but at least he's putting some weight on his foot there.
Brommel hoists it high and misses to the right. So the margin 14 points. At least he's limping off the ground, but he's not necessarily being helped by the trainers. At least he's doing it on his own volition. So hopefully it's not as bad as what we first thought when he was in agony on the ground.
But in terms of the result in this game, he may not come back on the ground, so advantage Coburg for them.
Well, Coburg have done well without Cooper Keogh, haven't they? Phillips has a replenishment, haven't they, in that respect. Hogg receiving from Boyd. Darcy Hogg will go laterally towards centre wing. Vickery's had his moments in this game. Sort of a bit spasmodic. He can come in and out of the game, but he's very zippy. Called to play on Cooper Vickery. Hard up against the boundary line. They need to find an avenue to goal, Carlton. They've struggled this quarter. Good mark. Taken by Dammer Smith. He's lifted 2 this term. He's covered a lot of territory.
Just wonder in terms of winning this game, Carlton 14 points behind here with a slight breeze against them. So maybe they need to pull the trigger. I wonder if they'll look at Billy Wilson perhaps in the midfield. I know he's been predominantly half-back for them today. Hasn't seen much of the footy. Maybe they'll need to just try something.
Well, he's about to come onto the ground along with Jackson Bin, so maybe they were conserving them for this last effort over the next, say, 15 to 20 minutes. Throw in. Valentine palms it down against O'Keefe. Loose footy, Gentili hacks it inside the 50. Chance for Thompson, hard up against the line. Lefroy hooks it back towards the goal face. It floats in the air. It's spoiled away. Thereby O'Farrell comes back down to Thompson. Sweeps the hand pass back. Chance for Valentine. Rockets it out to Gentili. Evades the tackle. Arches the back. Gives it back to Dintino Sante. 52 metres out. Kick towards full forward. It's all Carlton. Harvey goes in hard for the football. Bromwell was there as well. It spills through for a behind. So Coburg out to a 15-point lead.
Right on top in the clearances this quarter, Coburg. They were -2 at three-quarter time, and now they're +3.
I reckon the Blues have only had, just by my count without looking at the stats, only a couple of inside 50s for the quarter. They've really struggled to get it down there. They might have an opportunity here. McMahon will be the target. Gets to the front position. Couldn't quite take the mark. Stevens is in there. Hat kick out of the congestion. Chance now for the Blues. Tackle from Lemmy. Was it too indiscriminate? Not according to the umpire. Galvin didn't get a hurry kick away all that far. Hand pass out from Nelson for the Blues. They still try and lock it inside their forward 50. Here's Tomasiello finding the sanctity of the line. He's shoved over there by Poole. We'll have a throw in. But the Blues did well to at least lock it inside their forward 50. It looked like for a fleeting moment, Coburg were going to clear it too easily.
A couple of shanks by Galvin in this quarter.
Trudgeon coming back onto the ground very shortly for Coburg. Meantime, throw in. Can the Blues extricate a goal here? O'Keefe wins it down. Just too many numbers around the footy for Coburg at the moment. It's as simple as that too. His kick was a bit of a shank, but it might come off. Lefroy runs onto it. Can stream in towards the goal from 45 metres out. Padaski takes the mark, sprints in and puts it through for the Burgers. Could that be the nail in the coffin?
Smart kick too by Lefroy. He could have blazed away, but he was just able to show some composure, and that's another Joe the Goose, I think, to Padaski. And they just seem to be running on top of the ground here, Coburg. I'm not sure who kicked the ball out of that stoppage there. It was a pretty bad kick, actually. But
Tui, I think it was.
Yeah, but it ended up coming off. And as I've said numerous times during this call, if the ball hits the ground, Coburg are all over it.
Well, that's the second goal Padaski's kicked from pretty much point-blank range, waiting out the back. He kicked the first goal of the game in the first 20 seconds in that fashion, and he's kicked a goal there. That's 4 for the game for him.
Last hurrah here for Carlton. Pitnet has gone forward. Moyer has come back on the ground and gone forward. So they're loaded up in the forward line if they can get it down there, but that's the issue. They just can't win a stoppage.
21 points the margin. Coburg really lifting today on Vicky Cleary Day. A big day for the club here at Barry Plant Park. And they're in the box seat for a victory here. Free kick for in the back. Is it going to come back? It is. It's going to go Coburg's way. Trudgeon to take it. Drives it long and deep towards full forward. Where are the Flyers? Payman was there. Lefroy with a bit of smother. Tries to get it out. There's still a chance here for Coburg if they can wrench it clear. Hand pass from Charleston. The Blues have the numbers. Lucas Camporelli. Hand pass to Bids, who chips it short. We'll keep an eye on the Ben Camporelli situation as well. He's just being treated. What can the Blues muster here? Long kick down the line is a poor one. Trudgeon in the road.
Oh, they've just got to pull the trigger, do something a little bit different here.
That was Poole with a kick. Long kick inside 50. And guess who? This man has been an absolute star, Padaski, and he can line up for his 5th. Well, they've just found the options, haven't they, when they've kicked it inside the forward 50. And Padaski can almost put the seal on the deal here.
They just can't get their hands on the ball, the Blues.
Mitch Padaski has been a keen stalwart for this club. He's battled injury travails. And he misses to the right. So Carlton, still a bit of life left.
Yeah, the door is slightly ajar. I think it would have closed if he had to kick that one.
So Padaski remains on 4 goals. It's a 22-point margin in favour of Coburg. 13-9 to 9-11. Billy Wilson You've implored for him to be moved up the ground. He's still playing in that deep defensive post. Kicks long towards Moyer. Haven't seen much of him today. Valentine couldn't take the mark. Good play in the clinches there from Ferranato. Wrenched himself free. Spears a hand pass out towards O'Farrell, who applies the tackle. We'll have a ball up. Interesting to note, Harry Levy getting a bit of treatment on the bench, so they're going to have to rely on McMahon and O'Keefe, who've been pretty good today. As those two focal points up forward.
Billy Wilson could have taken the easy option from that kick in, but he decided to just gain territory, and I think that's what they need to do here. Try and get the ball forward as often as they can.
Pitnet, he's worked hard today, palms it down. Dinos Sante, is that kicking in danger? No, Binns got to kick off the ground himself. Applies the pressure there on Brommel. Good tackle, Ferranato. Hand pass intercepted by Binns. Stolen and pickpocketed by Trudgeon. Kick around the corner. Was touched off the boot. Charleston has to motor, as do the Blues. Charleston sweeps the hand pass off to Hogg. He's got Stevens running. He uses him. Stevens dodges round. Back to Charleston. 52 metres out. Couple of loose players free, all on their own inside the 50. So loose checking there from a Coburg point of view. And Poole, who's worked his way down the ground, has taken the mark.
That was smart by Charleston. As soon as he won the ball off half-back, he knew he had to play dangerous, and he did. A couple of missed tackles there by Coburg, and Poole's having a shot.
Oliver Poole approaching time on in the last quarter to keep the pulse beating for Carlton from 37 metres out. He slams it into the breeze and slams it through the middle. They're still alive, the Blues.
It was a mung of a kick, but he got it there. 16 points. It's not unachievable. Big Pitnet going into the ruck here. They're probably going to put their A-team in the middle here, Carlton. They'll need to, because Bramell, Trudgeon and Dintin Asante have dominated this quarter. So Ken Ramshaw, and they've put, is that Ben Camprielli back on the ground?
Oh, that's good to see if that's the case.
That's great news for them.
As he looked to be in agony, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's back on the ground, Ben Camprielli, matching up on Brommel, so good to see. There was a bit of a scare there probably about 15 minutes ago. Pitnet wins it down. Brommel, could he win the clearance here? He's tackled by Camprielli, so he's into the fray straight away.
I think that's okay for Carlton, just to get a repeat stoppage, because that's... Coburg have just dominated and been able to get the ball out of the middle. Well done here, Pitnet, grabbing the ball out of the ruck.
And he hacks it inside 50 for the Blues. McMahon caught behind on that occasion. Slapped away by Galvin. Mason with the hand pass to Dintino Sante. Sizes up the options, goes laterally back to Galvin. Gentili waiting to come on the ground. He's eager, full of beans. He wants to get on. Galvin on the left foot. Hoists it high towards half forward. Trudgeon may have been held. No free kick. Comes to ground level, Lefroy hacks it inside the 50. One-on-one contest. Bounces on its point. Blues have the numbers back. Binns receiving the hand pass. He's got it in the back pocket. He's had a better second half. Jackson Binns down the line. Dintino Sante and Moyer there. Good fist from behind from Galvin in trademark fashion. Still in play until now. Charleston saw it bounce on its point. Ball in.
Had a really quiet day as Ashton Moyer. Only the 5 touches.
Just struggled to be in the right spots. He's been out there. It's just hasn't worked for him today. Lemmy likewise hasn't had much of it. He's been off the ground for probably the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Well done.
Pitnet winning the free.
It's going to be important, Pitnet, this last few minutes.
Jackson Binns is away. Kick towards half forward. In front, O'Keefe. He's been good today. Fires a hand pass off to Ferranato. Spacious forward line, and Moyer takes the mark. Well, he hasn't had much of it today, but he can make an impact here. Ashton Moyer almost moved off his mark. Thought about giving it off.
This is going to be a tough kick. He'd be 45 out, but with a significant breeze against him. So going to be a special kick. He does have a hoof on him though.
Ashton Moyer to bring the margin back to within 10 points for the Blues. From 45 metres out. Starts it right. Tries to work it back. It's rushed through for a behind. Galvin and Co getting back there. It was always going to be difficult into that breeze. Margin 15 points. So 13-9 to 10-12. Could he have maybe in hindsight popped it up to the top of the goal square? No, it's easy to say now.
It's actually a smart call by you, Damien.
It's very rare.
No, I think he should have it because we know how proficient Carlton are in the air.
They have tall timber down there in McMahon and O'Keefe and co. Kicked by Mason down the line. Pitnet ran into Phillips there. Ricochet's out.
So stoppage here. Valentine, who has shown a lot of heart. He really just needs to knuckle down again with Pitnet starting to take control again.
23 minutes gone. Coburg still hold on to that 15-point buffer. Pitnet, great desperation. He's been good today. Binns sweeps the hand pass over. Ben Camporelli inside the 50. Looking for O'Keefe. The kick was a bit wayward for him. Getting back is Kalpakis. Has to try and disguise it here. He has nowhere to go. O'Keefe's got him. We'll wait for the call from the umpire.
Hang on. What's happened here? Oh, he's going to throw it in. Yeah. But how good was that by Pitnet? He's just a battler. He just has a crack and he won his own ball, 50-50 ball out here in front of us and surged the ball forward for Carlton.
Hudson O'Keefe himself has had 14 hit-outs. Throw in. He's in the ruck here. O'Keefe takes it out of the ruck. It's tackled by Valentine. Jed Tilley is there. Mason likewise. We'll have a ball up.
So what are we at? 24 minutes, 15-point deficit. Not sure about time. How many goals this quarter, Damien?
Not many. Pitnet wins it down. Spills out the back to Moyer. Can he pick the ball up here? Tries to wrench himself free. Ferranato's there. No one can gain clean possession. Spills out to Binns. Snap by Jackson Binns. Oh! He kicks the goal. They're still there, the Blues.
They just kept the ball alive, kept it moving.
Well, Jackson Binns, he's lifted in the second half after a bit of an indifferent first half. He kicks the goal. Really had a good third quarter. He's Carlton's leading possession winner on the ground, up to 26 for the game for him. And the Blues have kicked the last two. There's still a chance. 9 points the margin. We've gone about 25 minutes.
It was similar to the Jake Stringer goal in the 2016 Grand Final. Just sitting out the back of the pack, they were able to keep the ball moving, and a quick snap by Binns.
So, does this game have further twists and turns? Hope you're enjoying it on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. Great atmosphere here at Barry Plant Park for Vicky Cleary Day, raising crucial awareness for violence against women.
If they videoed Phil Cleary's message before the game, please make sure you have a listen to it. It was excellent.
Coburg by 9 points. Back in the middle, Pitnet wins it down. The Blues suddenly full of running. Evans wins the clearance. He kicks it laterally, though, out towards centre wing. Now the race is on. Boyd gets there first, hands it back. Chance now for Lucas Camporelli. This is a risky kick looking for Binns. Mason got the fist in. Coburg have the numbers. Valentine around the corner. Long kick to full forward. Podolski sees it bounce through for a behind.
I didn't mind that kick by Camporelli, though. It was dangerous. But that's what they need to get. They just need to take on the game. Billy Wilson from the kick in here. What will he do? He's gone wide.
You reckon he should have gone more direct? Through the corridor? Maybe they're trying to find a bit of space around that outer side. We've seen them transition and do that, the Blues, on a number of occasions today. They're going to go inbound now. Inboard to Wilson. Now Phillips.
Well, Phillips can be a bit nervous with his kicking.
Wilson to Phillips. Hold on for one more day. Binns at left half back. Drills it towards centre wing. Ramshaw. They've got three players looming here ominously, the Blues. Ramshaw on the right foot. Drills it towards the 50. Into the path of O'Keefe. Did well, the big man. Good dexterity. Gives it off to Nelson. Long kick inside the 50. Spoil at the back. McMahon getting involved. It was a heavy tackle and a sling tackle called against McMahon.
He didn't need to do that. He just needed to hold him up. But that slinging action, he's given away an unnecessary free kick as McMahon.
He already held him up too. Had him wrapped up. Trudgeon deep in defence. He's going to go long down towards the boundary line. Big fly at the back from O'Farrell. Got the fist in and Payman sees it over. Luke Power getting into the action. Having flashbacks to 2001. So a throw in here. 10 points the margin in favour of Coburg. They've led for the vast majority of the day. The Blues have kicked the last couple.
One-on-ones everywhere.
Throw in is a bit wayward. Umpire lets it go. Coburg get a free 10 metres. Boyd tackled by Lafroy like a little terrier holding the ball. Oh, there's a bit of a suplex.
WWF stuff, that wasn't it?
We had WrestleMania recently. Play on Lafroy. Well, he's forced to hoik it high. Trudging underneath it. Well, he's landed with it. Umpire calls play on. Came off the hands. Did Tino Sante. Drills it towards full forward. Good mark taken by Phillips.
Got to go here, Phillips.
He's going to use the outer side. Poole will be the option here, and he finds him. Pull it right half back. He's got Lucas Camporelli running. Kicks it into his path. Needs to be good here. Wasn't the best of kicks. Getting there first, Sarong. Hand pass to Walker. Back to Sarong. Met heavily by Poole, but he bounces off him with contempt. Kick inside the 50. Long and deep. Good mark taken by Harvey. Good relieving mark for the Blues. Harvey, they need to move it. They're 28.5 minutes into this final term. Binns has been good. Kick towards Lemmy, who's back on the ground. Harry Lemmy hasn't seen much of it today. Goes short to Nelson. Puts on the afterburners. Takes a bounce. Streams away from Dintino Sante. Good smother from Trudgeon. Ricochet to Dintino Sante. Back to Trudgeon. Chips it short to Andrew. He's got multiple players inside the 50. This could be fitting. Long kick inside the 50. Padaski couldn't get there. Boyd got the fist in. Padaski to put the cream on the cake.
What's happened here? Yes, he's given it.
5 goals for Mitch Padaski. And that could be the absolute nail in the coffin. A nice dribble goal too.
Yeah, it was a great... the execution was excellent, but Matt Allison, if you get to see that piece of play again, that was just an elite hand pass under pressure back to Padaski, who's just been able to get out the back so often today. It looks like he was going to take a comfortable mark, but regardless, it looks like they've closed this one out, Coburg.
They're playing We Are the Champions, so I think the MC believes they're just about home and hosed. Carlton supporters are walking out as well. So 16 points the margin as we approach the 30-minute mark of this final term. It's been an inspired performance from Coburg, hasn't it?
Oh, they've been challenged on a number of occasions and they've stood up.
Back in the middle, Pitnet takes it out of the ruck, gives it off to Moyer. Can the Blues respond quickly here? Towards half forward, Braden Gillard, hand pass to Dintino Sante, feeds it back. Padaski now moving into defence, so we see that as the swing man.
They're just trying to close this down. The body language is just to take your time here on the bench and on the ground.
We've got the sign up as well, Brommel. Back to Padaski.
But full credit to the Blues to make a game out of this. They've been quite brave as well.
Well, they have, but I think all credit needs to go to Coburg. They lost their ruckman early in the second half, Cooper Keogh, and they've done well without him. Ryan Valentine, I think, has done pretty well in the ruck. Having said that, I mean, Carlton's rucks have been good. Pitnet's been a workhorse, hasn't he, today?
He's just so honest in everything he does. I will say O'Keefe has gone out of the game a little bit. He was dominating, and Coburg have done well just to limit his influence in this last half.
Well, he's played in the forward line for much of this last quarter. The unfortunate thing for the Blues is it hasn't been down there all that much. We saw him get into the fray a couple of times when they went on that run, but didn't really play in the ruck all that often in this last quarter. Pitnet's done most of the work in that respect.
Smart.
Brommel taps it on to Gentili. Probing kick inside the 50. It's a spacious forward line. The bounce didn't favour Phillips. It wasn't obliging for him. Jordan Gillard's there trying to harry him away. Ball slung out by Lucas Camporelli. Tackled is Charlson. Well done. Allison tries to lurk around and snap a goal. Matty Allison puts through yet another for Coburg, and it's party time now. That's his second. He did well. It looked like it was going to be a regulation open goal. Made it difficult for himself. Had to kick it over the head. And it's another one for the Burgers.
I really like his game, Matt Allison. He's never a high possession winner. He sort of has the 8 to 15 possessions, kicks 1 or 2 goals, but he's just a really smart player. We saw in that second last goal where he gave it to Padaski, and then on that occasion, looked like he was going to be wrapped up, but he was able to get ball to boot. Mitch
Padaski, 5 goals and 20 disposals. He's been excellent.
That's some sort of game, isn't it?
Along with a couple of tackles, he's taken 12 marks today too. Back in the middle. Pitnet wins it down against Valentine. Ramshaw tries to tap it clear. Dintino Sante wins the clearance for Coburg. Hoists it high. He's had a good last quarter, Dintino Sante. Good mark taken there by Phillips in the one-on-one. Nudged out his opponent. Here's Charlson. Off to Harvey. Drives it towards centre wing. One-on-one contest. Spills clear. Ramshaw can't break his way free. Gets a hand pass away. Walker combining well with Tui. And now Coburg are away. The siren sounds. A special day for the Coburg Football Club. A rousing victory over Carlton in front of their home faithful by 22 points.